Okay, I clicked it. I think it just happens when I do that, right? Chat, tell me if you can see me. I put it on low latency. Everyone remember to like the stream or else Hog will get mad at us. That's true. If you don't like the stream, I'm going to 500 kilogram your house and your mom's house. We can see you? Fantastic. All right. We're going to do the same one monitor setup as yesterday because that worked really, really well. And we're going to put chat right here. Okay, so we're going to do a quick test. Okay, we're going to do a quick test. I'm going to do a countdown. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to say message. And as soon as I say message, I want you all to type the number 1, okay? So that I can see what the delay looks like. All right, get ready. 3, 2, 1, message. What do you mean, where's the stream? 1. Okay. So there's like a 6-second delay or something like that. I can work with that. Ooh, we got some viewers in here, low key. Oh shit, that's great. All right. So for those of you who haven't seen, if you tuned in yesterday, you saw that we were talking about the Pilestedt Q&A. Hog, you really be cranking the streams out. You know, I don't know if I'm always gonna do it this frequently, but I had a really good time yesterday. Was watching Thick Fillet's stream. It's more over than it has ever been. Checks, it's genuinely so over. Like, everybody, I know we like to say this as like the brand, right? Like we're cry divers in here, but it's really not looking good to be a Helldivers fan because we always kind of operate with this like we kind of feign ignorance, you know. The future might be bright. They might be working on big things, and Pilestedt genuinely just stepped out of his hole after his, $1 trillion sabbatical and said, no, we're not doing any of that shit. You want progression? Nah. You want super credits to be better at higher difficulties? Nah. You want any kind of end game? Nah. Sorry. Low priority. You want balance? Oh, balance is really hard. We have so many guns. Balance is really hard. We developed a whole system for using new ammunition in guns. A done, developed, functional system, but they couldn't balance it, so they didn't include it in the game. What the fuck was the point of developing it, man? You didn't realize at some point that you don't know how to balance this stuff, but you finished it anyway instead of fixing bugs or adding content that we want to see? We are Hog's strongest soldiers. Fuck yeah, you are. Pilestedt threw gasoline on the community. 100% agree. I'm still reading through them. How bad was it? We're going to go over it for the bulk of this stream, Wazer. I don't know how long today's stream is going to be, but we're going to try and shoot for at least a couple hours. But yeah, we're going to talk about that together. I'm drinking beer. I'm drinking beer right fucking arrowhead. All right, Archangel. It's not over, nor is it back. I'm just over it. Yep. Hey, Hog, what's up? What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? I appreciate you saying that. It might be over. I'm living in games graveyard. Payday 2, Destiny 2, Helldivers 2. Payday 2 is still a good game. Okay? I actually got banned from Payday 2 because when I was like 12, I downloaded hacks from the internet. Like, not understanding the implications of that. I just didn't want to grind for all the masks. I got banned immediately, bro. I miss Payday 2. I think I'm still banned. I'm certainly marked as a cheater on there. So, Pilestedt has answered. Yeah, I know. Not my proudest moment, Blitz. I'm not proud of it. But, it did happen. And in the wise words of J. Cole, no mistakes, only lessons. Payday 3 is cooked. It's true, man. I played it on PlayStation. It felt fine. Like, the shooting is cool. But, man, I don't know. It's still just, it's not what Payday 2 was, from what I hear. So, let's get into what Pile has been doing, because he, like, as we speak, is cranking out answers. At least last I checked. Oh, actually, I take it back. It looks like last time I checked, he put out an answer, and it's been about 30 minutes. So, we are going to take a quick peek at the answers that he's been giving us. So, let's just sort... I need to clear my throat. Excuse me. You think someone told him he needed to come back due to the insane backlash? Okay, I was actually thinking about this the other day. On Xbox, I got hundreds of masks and attachments for free. I would have loved to be you, bro. Although I was a PlayStation fan, so maybe not. The ban is putting a cheater tag on me, but like I feel like that marks me, you know? That almost feels worse than being banned. Cuz yeah, he answered nothing yesterday. Yeah. So here's what I think happened. I think Pilestedt probably decided to do this Q&A on his own. Like I don't think he went to Shams and said, "Hey, I think doing a Q&A would be a good idea." And then when he started doing it, you know, he thinks, "Okay, I'm the wholesome guy that's going to bring clarity to the nasty Helldivers community, the unfiltered community, where all the people that just want to hate on the game go." And and I think he was expecting it to go better than it did. I think that it started going poorly. He probably had a conversation with Shams, and I think the takeaway from that conversation would have been, if you stop answering questions now, it's only going to make the situation worse. So you got to answer more questions and be careful. But we got to bite the bullet, because what you did is promise communication. And if you don't give it to them, they're going to be pissed, which would be true. I think he'd be right in saying that. So he's been kind of slopping his way through some crappy answers, and we're going to sort from the absolute newest ones to where we left off yesterday. And then we might do some React content after that. You guys are free to recommend whatever you want. But I was reading through this, and I had some thoughts, just like usual. So there was this one. He says AMA, and this dude answers like 4 questions. And the Pilestedt, he says, just took a break. It's 48 hours. Yeah, it's 48 hours, man. Ooh, interesting. Most recent answer is to a question from Odo. Okay, so let's read Odo's question together real quick. Denevals would not be fun for me. I gamble on that because it's more like GTFO. Dude, GTFO was tough. I tried playing that game. Gonna be honest, Pilestedt is a dickhead. Odo is never wrong. I think Odo can be wrong. I think Odo falls a little more into the like cry diver category to the point that I think he'd be a very hard person to please. But I also think that he has a lot of good points pretty regularly. His content has been growing on me recently. So I don't know if that means that he's changing or if it means that I'm changing. Like most things, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, right? But let's read what Odo has to say here. Let's see if we agree. Why are the devs adamant on making the game they want and not the game their players deserve? Bars. I'm with you there, Odo. It may sound ironic since it is the devs' game after all, but the vast majority of players bought a game that becomes harder to enjoy, and the main reason for that is and has been the devs' choices. Fair and true. Players fell in love with a horde shooter, and we've seen throughout the past 2 years how improving upon that aspect of the game makes for a better experience. For some reason, it's more of a priority to make enemies less fun to engage with, remove creative solutions players find, charger-like meta, abandon weapons and leave them in a state of viability, but nothing more, and all the while wonder why players are so quote-unquote hateful. Players aren't hateful, by the way. I think a lot of people in this community misconstrue criticism as hate. There is no rule written in stone anywhere that says that criticism has to be laced with sunshine and sugar and rainbows. Criticism can be harsh and still be fair. When you start insulting somebody, I think that's crap. But I understand why people are upset and why they voice their opinions the way that they do. Anyway, it may seem that people are simply hating for the sake of it, but Odo made a typo here. Let's all clown on him for making a typo real quick. But I can speak for myself in saying I just want the game to be as good as it should be. Never mind, don't clown on him. He's low-key spitting right now. And I just wish the devs felt the same way. They just have a vision for the game that makes it less fun for their true core audience. This isn't a game for everyone, a game for no one situation either. This is the systematic degradation of a game that has left millions of players wondering why. Bars. Ooh. We should get a pins of fame category right next to the pins of shame, and that sentence would be in there. Little side note, people assume that content creators such as myself make videos hating on the game for fun, but again, speaking for myself, that isn't the case. It is more of a hindrance to make a video I do both on my... Wait. It is more of a hindrance to make the video I do both to my... Okay, he's saying it's a hindrance to make the type of videos that he makes, and it's a hindrance to both himself and his channel. I don't enjoy seeing comments saying, thanks for letting me know I shouldn't play Helldivers 2. I shouldn't have to explain why that's harmful to a channel whose content is 90% gameplay focused. True. A lot of people disregard that. And this is something I say pretty regularly, I would much rather make positive content about the game. But I'm not going to make positive content if I don't feel positively about the game. I just want Helldivers 2 to focus on making an enjoyable and engaging experience for the millions of players that deserve just that, instead of the hyper-focus on a subsect of the player base that won't keep Arrowhead's lights on and will ditch the game the moment it is no longer popular to defend. I've been through the same long dance with a game called Dauntless. Ooh. Yeah, does anybody in the chat remember Dauntless? That game that just got fucking nuked? God, that was crazy. That was a crazy time to be alive. I'm tired, boss. Hunter. That must be Odo's name, is Hunter. Let's see. Yeah, for those who don't know, Dauntless was a free-to-play Monster Hunter clone, and it was actually good. Dauntless was a solid game. It had kind of cool enemy designs. It had fun gameplay, and it got I think it got taken over by some company at some point, and they like removed all of the gameplay systems. They like removed the ability to craft weapons. They I don't even remember all the details. We might look at an article about it after this, just so that I remember. But I don't think like they didn't do Helldivers as bad as they did Dauntless. What was it, Tencent? It was either Tencent or it was something like Krafton, one of those companies that just like cannibalizes the games that they touch, you know? So anyway, here's what Pilestedt says. Hey, this is a great question. Damn right it was. There is no truth. There is no one truth to what players want. It's many millions of individuals with varying expectations on what they want out of the game. If you really drill into it, everyone has nuances or great differences in what they want the game to be. Some appreciate the game for its fun arcade action, others love it for the challenge, some love it for the teamwork, and others play it solo. I think it's interesting to say that those gameplay mechanics don't all serve a greater experience. He's kind of making it sound like you're playing the game in different game modes, but those are all different facets of what make a horde shooter interesting. Helldivers is multifaceted, and in this lies the challenge with satisfying everyone. Okay, we're gonna pause here real quick because I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. I think he's making this out to be way more complicated than it is. Because, like, honestly, guys, let's take a step back here and let's look at Helldivers for what it is. Helldivers is a horde shooter. Helldivers is a game where you take fun equipment into interesting scenarios that involve shooting like aliens and robots. Okay, shooting aliens and robots is not a complex game idea. Now, the systems surrounding that idea can be complex. This game does all kinds of fucky stuff with spawns and damage and whatnot. But at the end of the day, as long as we have weapons that are fun to use, we have enemies that are fun to engage with, and we have, like, underlying gameplay reasons like progression and whatnot to engage with those fun core systems, then the game would be good. And every time somebody tries to say that to Pilestedt, he keeps trying to deflect and redirect. He tries to make the conversation about something that it's not. It's not that it isn't about pleasing multiple people. It's that you can please the majority of people with the type of game that the majority of people are asking for. Like, if you've got 1 million people, it's not like 100,000 want this, and 100,000 want this, and 100,000 want this. It's like the majority want this. And there's a couple of scragglers that want some weird shit, because there's always scragglers that want some weird shit, right? Helldivers is at its core and always oh wait, hold on, I skipped a sentence. Especially when new team members join the team, how are they onboarded to what the intent of the game is? What? I don't know what he means by that. What do you mean, what is the intent of the game? The intent of the game is surely to be a fun horde shooter, right? Helldivers at its core is and always was, during development, a third-person horde shooter with mil-sim fundamentals. But at surface level, this seems like a basic horde shooter, but the depth comes from a simulated shooter. I don't know why they latch onto this mil-sim stuff, man. What mil-sim stuff? What mil-sim stuff? Like the height over bore and the fact that bullets are projectiles instead of hit scan? Like, I understand they're like creating a sort of fictional military here, right? So everything functions like as it hypothetically could in the near future. But this game, like, Arma is a mil-sim. Arma is a mil-sim. This is just a horde shooter. It's like saying that Space Marine 2 is a mil-sim because you're playing as a member of an army and you shoot things. Like, I I don't see what the milsim elements are supposed to be. I mean, the closest thing we had was team reloading, but that doesn't even, the way they implement it doesn't even make sense. I mean, with a change of tone and more hardcore balancing, Helldivers could become a contemporary hardcore shooter. What? I don't know what that means. I don't see how that's possible. Can't you see how realistic it is to warp 10 feet with a black hole backpack? Dude, that's so true. We should be able to warp a little further. Isn't he the person in charge of the game intent? He's the creative designer. He should know how they onboard devs to the internal vision. He is. He's the chief creative officer. He's like the main guy behind all of this, which is why this Q&A is so concerning, because it's not just coming from like one dev, just one guy. It's coming from like the big kahuna. This guy's the big cheese right here. How the team stays true to the core is fundamental in how it's developed, but all games slip over time. Looking at you, originally hardcore SWAT game that now has cartoon characters in it. What's he referring to there? Is he referring to SWAT? Is he referring to Ready or Not? He wouldn't be referring to Ready or Not. Huh. Games do evolve, especially... Oh, he's referring to COD? Or Rainbow Six. It could... Well, shit. I mean, it could be one of the two. They both apply, right? Games do evolve, especially when teams change and grow, and it's up to direction to set the boundaries, which is way more complex when there's 200 people working on the game versus 60. No, it isn't. It's not more complex if you have people split up into the jobs that they should be doing, man. That's the whole point of delegating. If you have a group of 200 developers and you give them all a little piece of every single system and they all have different ideas on how that system should be implemented, that doesn't work. But if you have 200 developers and you split them across like 10 different systems, let's say you have on average 20 men working on one aspect of the game or 10 men working on 20 systems, who cares? As long as they understand what the greater vision is and you have some collaboration between teams, you don't run into that issue. This is the... I've never run a team the size of Arrowhead, but I have actually been the manager for a gym at some point. I told you guys I've been a trainer. I used to be the sales manager for a gym in my area. And you would have people in the front of the house. You would have people in the back of the house. You would have people that handle different areas of different things when you run every single day. And every time when things would get fucked up, it's when somebody would spontaneously stop doing their job and start trying to do somebody else's. I would not be surprised if their studio has a lot of that going on. There is no one right answer here. Whichever way the game expands, some will be left disappointed and some others will embrace it. This is a disingenuous answer because, sure, there is no one correct answer, but it's because there's a lot of, like, similar but not identical ways that you can get to the same vision that the player base has that would please the majority of people. He's making it sound like there's 80 different versions of Helldivers, and there's not. There's like 3, you know, and only one of them is good. Yeah, honestly, that's an L answer. It seems like he's trying to, is it obfuscate? It seems like he's trying to muddy the water with what the player base is asking for and make it more complicated and complex than it is. One thing that you'll see when you look at the Helldivers subreddits is that there is a lot of the same sentiment from people. You get a lot of yapping from a lot of the glazers, but most people kind of want the game to look almost like it does right now, with a few very key tweaks to specific items and specific systems. They have a solid foundation for what could be a good game, which is the only reason I'm sitting here yammering off about all this stuff. The realistic aspect of Helldivers 2 has to do with the crippling system, the movement, and weapon feedback. I can agree with that. The crippling system is underbaked. The movement I really enjoy, and the weapon feedback I really enjoy for the most part. Sway sucked. They've toned it down a little bit, but it's I don't know that that's enough to make it a milsim, but he just said it had milsim elements, so you're probably right. That's probably what he's referring to. Pilestedt came back to say more nothing. Oh boy, dude. And this is some of the most something that he said all day. It only gets worse. Yeah, L answer right there. Let's move on to the next one. From Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna try and chew through this question quickly. Hello, Pilestedt. Hope you're doing well. I hope this reaches you and the rest of Arrowhead's dev team for Helldivers 2. In regard to receiving feedback, are there plans to implement an in-game feedback system? I'm gonna burp. Excuse me. Oh, it happened twice. Excuse me. Where was I? To accurately reflect the community instead of having to rely on Discord and Reddit. I think that's a really good idea. By the way, this reply is really in bad faith. Only a small part of the community wants the game to strive towards a more realistic direction. Dude, realism sucks. Realism is a great thing to add on to a core gameplay loop for flavor, like what Helldivers does. The ergonomic system is cool, you know? It can be neat at times. The sort of Metal Gear Solid 5 style movement feels really good. That's really cool. And the fact that the game is grounded by a lot of those systems and then lets you break away from so many of them by doing something like dive off of a mountain with a rocket launcher over your shoulder and blow the head off of a giant alien. That's where the fun comes from. And it's like, you've already got the realism systems, so stop leaning more into them. You know, I'm fine with them saying they want it to be a grunt fantasy, quote unquote, in the sense that they don't want us to be superheroes. But I'm not fine with it in the sense that they want to treat us like we're completely. You've heard the argument a million times before. I won't ramble off about that. Faster fixing of bugs. Yes. This is a list of requests seen by the community. Expansion on weapon customization. Yes. Expansion of armor customization. Hell yes. Galactic War needs improvement. Not for a year, bro. Mech vehicle customization. Past acquisition of vehicles has set precedent that vehicles are either given or earned for free. Yup. Earned or given for free. Mech vehicle customization has also been highly recommended and requested feature to be added in the game, so is it possible to still have vehicle customization added to the game, seeing as you are willing to listen to us? Here is a video from 1st Colonial Regiment with a great example of modular mechs. Is this the one that we saw the other day? It is. Yeah, that was a good video. Improved level progression. Yep. Sample usage, stratagem, and weapon buffs. Okay, so awesome comment with a lot of recommendations for the things that the community wants to see, which on paper is the reason that Pilestedt is here. He wants to know what the community wants. He wants to dissuade misinformation. He wants to show us that he's working in our best interest. Let's see what he has to say about this. So many great questions. A lot of the specifics I don't have, unfortunately, as the team is now so large. Technical debt, operational excellence, and release quality is our top priority. We are working extremely hard on ensuring that updates are held to high standards. Kind of weird that in one response he says the team is too small to do the things that we want, but in this one he says the team is now so large. Do you have a big team or do you have a small team, Pilestedt? Is it something that you just change when it's convenient? I agree fixing the multitude of bugs is key. Do you? Because you haven't. Expansion on weapon customization, armor customization. It will be improved and expanded in the future. But first we need to resolve the debt that we have and keep releasing. What do you mean first you have to resolve the debt? How many years is that going to take you, man? How many years is that going to take you? You don't have 5 years to fix the tech debt. You have the stability that you have. You need to find a way to simultaneously develop these two things. You can't keep sacrificing one for the other. Every time they say that they're going to sacrifice one thing for the betterment of the game, whether it's slowing down the pace of war bonds in order to balance them better and give us better content, whether it's slowing down the pace of updates in order to preserve the technical state of the game, it never works. We just get less stuff and run into the same problems because they don't know what they're doing, man. Yeah. Galactic War, we're working on improving on it. The team has some really cool ideas for how the Galactic War will evolve, but the running of the war is taking up a lot of time right now. That's the other thing. What do you mean the running of the war is taking up a lot of... What running? What running are you doing? We haven't seen a surge since Cyberstan. We haven't... How many events have we had? I mean, I've been tuned out of the main game for obvious reasons, but I have the companion app. We're fighting on the same 7 fucking planets like we always are. It's becoming very clear that the Galactic War does not have tangible consequences. It's just a method of delivery for getting us from one war bond to the next and keeping us fighting the war. So it's like, what? here's the thing. If the Galactic War needs to be strictly flavor because they don't want to end the war, they don't want to have us win or lose. I get, yeah, dude, no shit. The two MMOs where they didn't even put in the right title, it was just like Arc 9 outcome win. That's so trash. If the Galactic War is just going to be background slop, maybe controversial take here, but that's fine enough. I would much rather the war be engaging, but if it's just a background metagame delivery method that we're never going to be able to influence and we're just, you know, along the ride for these guys' friggin' custom D&D campaign, then you need to make the core gameplay the attraction. You need to give us progression systems. You need to give us reasons to log in so that this can act as flavor that flavors the gameplay that we engage with. Right now, we have the worst of both worlds. The Galactic War serves no purpose, and we have no progression or endgame systems. So, like, you understand what I'm saying. Mechs vehicles. We see these as any other... Like, they're not managing MOs because we just had lazy endings to them. Yeah, no, it's just, we literally just get flavor text. So many things have, like, no... And when they were giving them impacts, it was just like, oh, you lost this MO. -1 stim for a week. Dude, I don't want to play Helldivers when there's -1 stim for a week. That's not fun. That sucks. Warbond token as a level reward is an interesting idea. Yeah, I like that. Mechs vehicles. We see these as any other stratagem, even though they feel more significant. They are really no different from an autocannon or turret in our philosophy. Stratagems should always should have overlapping effects, which means there should always be plenty of flavor options to tackle each challenge. Hold on. We see these as any other stratagem, even though they feel more significant. They are really no different from an autocannon or a turret in our philosophy. Stratagems should always have overlapping effects. Oh, you mean balancing? You mean the idea that they should have pros and cons that give you reasons to prefer one or the other based on your personal taste? Yeah, no shit, man. That's not the point. The point is that vehicles have stood as like the one final bastion, no pun intended, although that is hilarious, of free content that the player base has gotten since the game's launch. And you have included vehicle, and you haven't given us any content in like a long ass time for free. So when the time finally comes around to get what it seems like is going to be our free meal, and then you make us pay for it, that's why everyone's freaking out right now, man. Because they're like, what is sacred? What is sacred? What is left for the player base? What is left for the people who paid the price tag to get in? Is that just not worth anything anymore because you've given us more enemies? You haven't given us another free war bond. You haven't given us more tools. Enemies are fun to interact with, but the really fun thing in games are the stuff that you get. The armors and the weapons and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. Galio 1. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Samples. Yeah, I'm a bit ashamed that we don't have more sample uses. If you were ashamed, then you would have given them a use in the past 2 years. Balance, I have answered elsewhere. You sure have, Pile Titan. Trash answer. I want to ask, why do we always reach this point? I doubt Arrowhead isn't aware of the issues that are complained about. Why don't they communicate to us that they're looking into the problems? Or why do sometimes they go out of their way to create more things that the player base has shown they don't like people complaining about ragdolls on bots and then creating war striders? We always end up in 60-day plan situations where they have to take drastic measures into the unjust optimization patch and this AMA. Yeah, make no mistake. If they don't have like a major response and shift in response to this AMA, they're going to lose more players than they anticipate. This is genuinely, like, the explosion hasn't even happened yet. We're right now in the middle of the boiling pot. Thank you, Agale. I appreciate that. We are right now, we're looking at a cauldron right now, and the water has been boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling, and now it's starting to spill over the sides a little bit. And when it starts spilling a lot, like when people start getting on board and realizing what's actually happening with what might be their favorite game, although if Helldivers is your favorite game, I'm sorry, then it's not going to be good for them, man. I think this is at its core a combination of not testing enough, no shit, and that the most experienced in the community are far better at the game. What do you mean by this? What does he mean by this? Far better at the game than who? Than the developers? I doubt Arrowhead isn't aware of the issues complained about. Why don't they communicate to us that they're looking into the problems? Create more things that the player base has shown they don't like. We always end up in 60-day plans. What do you guys think he means by this? I don't know. I'm scratching my head on that one. We are aware and actively working to resolve this. Resolve what? Communication? Listening to the players? No, genuinely. And you know what's crazy? Like, obviously, the skill ceiling for most games is going to be high compared to the floor. But the skill ceiling in Helldivers is not high. Like, it genuinely just boils down to shooting enemies and knowing which ones to prioritize. Which just comes from experience. Which you would think these guys have because they made the fucking enemies. Right? I mean, am I crazy? Yeah, I mean, this is genuinely, that's a slop burger. Dude, put a bun here, because right in the middle, that's slop right there. Nasty. I have been maintaining a dock with lots of bugs. I made a ticket over Zendesk and got a response that was forwarded to the team, but not much happened after as far as I know. I have continued to maintain and improve the dock. I want to take this opportunity to share it once more. The Google Doc link. The main page one is called Active Bug List. This is great. There's a lot of great info in the community, but I think we need to be much better at finding this. Dude. What do you mean finding the info? We're handing it to you on a silver plate. What happens with all of those? Oh, the polls, the surveys, man. Like, a lot of people used to participate in those. Less people have been participating in them because I've noticed that they've started closing a lot more slowly. They've started hitting like the max submission count a lot more slowly than they used to. Probably because people were sick and tired of typing the same thing every week and then seeing it get ignored. I'm curious. Google Doc. Is this... Oh, boy. Oh, there's a lot of people viewing this right now. Oh, okay. Am I missing something here? View only, legend, fixed, most likely fixed. To-do list. What's going on? Where are all the bugs, man? This document was maintained by me with the purpose of tracking disclaimers. Oh, the tabs? Oh! You know what's funny? I'm actually Excel certified. It's just been so long since I've used it. Ah, I see. Now, we're not gonna... Ooh. 275. Oof. They're not reading this shit, bro. They're not reading this shit. I'm not even reading this shit, and I care. They don't care. They're not reading this. I stopped typing anything since it went nowhere. Yeah, dude, I was the same way. I gave them, like, genuine feedback. They not... Like, I sunk my heart into that shit. And they didn't listen. Not once. And you didn't pay for drugs. Not once. Oh, yeah, Lieutenant Buzz Lightbeers. Yep. I think Pilestedt gave this one kind of a non-answer, too. Buzz had one of the better questions on here. So check this out. Johan, this is from Buzz. Johan, we love Helldivers 2 not only for the chaos it is able to deliver, but also because Arrowhead was the anti-live service game. The game had a steady injection of paid war bonds, major story arc changes, and interactive community events with powerful rewards we could earn. There was also a push led by the studio to expand on the in-game systems in an effort to broaden the overall experience when playing Helldivers 2. That was year one. Since then... Since then, the proverbial well has dried up. Tier 5 ship upgrades were introduced in July 2024. The still unfinished weapon customization system arrived in May 2025, over a year ago, by the way. And the last time we were challenged during a major order and awarded a stratagem was March of 2025. Instead of meaningful features and expanding the game, we've been met with a steady barrage of paid content. Worse still, Arrowhead has fallen into a cycle of fixing long-standing issues only when met with paid content release, i.e. creating the problem and then selling us the solution. The Zendesk is worthless. 100% agree. At this point, just hire OP. He does more work than whoever manages Zendesk. 100% agree. I think that genuinely they should ship like some of the better content creators out to Sweden and give them a weekend to make a bunch of balance changes. I think they'd be willing to do it for free. And I genuinely, I mean that. I think they would do it for free. Red Stratton next war bond. You might be right, man. You might be right. We haven't seen any leaks about it yet, but they're not above it. Since then, the proverbial... Oh, yeah. Okay, let me explain. Bleed damage. Yep, this was the Force of Law thing. Players requesting changes to ragdolling, then they put in Rock Solid. Players wanted build flexibility for melee, and then they released Siege Breakers. I'm less mad at Siege Breakers because that armor was just trashed all around. But I also see what he's saying. Suppressors were broken the second they were released and took half a year to get fixed, and they did it when Redacted Regiment was released. Fire has been in a rough spot, and players wanted a slow stun effect, but it was not introduced until we were offered the Entrenched Division Warbond. Yup. And here we are within a few days of the Exo Experts Warbond. Mech buffs are coming in. You see what he's saying. As you can see, this is more than an isolated incident. It is a pattern, and one that old Arrowhead stood very much against. When can Johan, Arrowhead, and Helldivers 2 get back to that slightly odd, rebellious group of developers that zigged when everyone else zagged? They got a taste of money, bro. Why do you think corporations do what they do? Oh, what's up, babe? Hey, you need to tell me when you get off of work. And you can answer me quicker now because I did low latency mode this time. Wait, are you watching me at work? That's crazy. Creating problems, alienating large sections of your devoted player base, and then only fixing issues with paid content is not what you guys are about. That's AAA monetized till the game dies, Corpo BS. Yes, it is, bro. So, long-winded way of getting to his questions. Low-key, bro, I'm listening like you're a podcast. I appreciate it, man. Give me some of that AdSense. Even at this late hour, will Arrowhead commit to delaying the Exo Experts War Bond? He's already said no to that. Actually, he may say no in this response. Pulling mechs out and restructuring it to be in line with what the majority of players are wanting. Armored vehicles belong in MOs and used as rewards for going ham, in all caps, against a faction. Do y'all ever go ham against a faction? Chat, do you go ham against factions? Also, will you hand down to the team a directive to stop with the fixes solutions being sold back to us only through paid content? I think that's a good question. And finally, is there any feedback or solutions you would take from a player or players that could initiate a pause in the current direction of the content that the team is working on? We want to help you and in turn help ourselves, but we don't populate the normal quote-unquote echo chamber sodium like the low sodium channels. There's a ton of highly experienced players out here in the unfiltered channels that love the game. We are expressing ourselves, but in many cases, that feedback falls on what is perceived as deaf ears. That's because we perceive correctly, Buzz. You're 100% right. It's appreciated that you've stepped out of the normal avenues to meet us in our area. Before the War Strider, I was a dedicated bot diver. Dude, what kills bots for me is Ragdoll. Like, I still like bots, but the Ragdoll is just too much. We had same answers. We have plans. Here's new what? Yeah, kind of, Warrior. Kind of. Welcome to the stream, by the way. What's up, Wazer? Oh, yeah, Cyberstand at Extract. Me and my friends were just unloading in the unending horde, and I was going full cyclic. You mean like cycle? I'm a twisted fucking psychopath. Hey, Hog, the Discord server invite from the channel description is not valid anymore. Oh, really? Here. If there's anybody in here right now that wants to join... I'll put a link. I'm going to leave for like 5 seconds because I need to blow my nose. And then we're going to dive into Pilested's answer because it kind of wasn't great. If I remember correctly, it wasn't the absolute worst in the world. But I don't remember reading any of his answers and feeling satisfied. Excuse me. Whoa! Dude, I just popped like my whole spine. That was crazy. All right. Let's see what Pile Titan here has to say. For any non-Helldivers fans, there's an enemy called a Bile Titan, so we call him Pile Titan. Hey, this is a great post and question. I wonder if your answer is going to be great. So much to digest. That seems like a corporate smiling way of saying, God damn it, man. Stop putting me on the spot like that. I just joined. I'm Chris. What's up, Chris? I'm Hog. I first want to address the points that you made. Oh, wait, you mean in the Discord? Okay, okay. I'll swap the link in my channel description then. I see what you're saying. I first want to address the points that you made about Warbond plus balance/fixes. I think this is an unfortunate consequence of when we do a push for a Warbond. We review all the issues associated with balancing. Remember when we did a nerf to fire just in time for the Warbond release with fire-themed balancing? I don't know. Do you guys remember that? Does that sit as a really potent memory that kind of serves as an example of Arrowhead's flawed development logic? I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, that really hit us hard, and we sort of said that whenever a Warbond is released, we need to ensure that the items in it and the associated mechanics are up to scratch. I mean, yeah, they always should be, but you know. Okay. Potentially controversial take here. I think that this answer is fine. I think it is indicative of a bigger problem, but I do understand what he's saying here. They, for some reason, only have so many resources, and they like to hyper-focus on the themes and tools that Warbonds are going to have, especially when they have broader implications across portions of our kit. I get that, okay? The problem is the amount of time that it takes them to fix these issues. Great example. The changes that are upcoming to the mechs. They increased the durable damage that enemies do by triple plus on a whim. They did it very carelessly, and they were perfectly fine with leaving it as a permanent decision. Because, I mean, when it's around for a matter of months, I consider that permanent. That's not a short-term fix. And then, when all of this time passes, and all of a sudden we're actually done with the waiting, and they make the change that we want to see, we're all like, yes, we're making mechs good again. But we forget so quickly that they left mechs in such a poor state for, like, such a long time, even in development standards. Like, obviously developing a game takes time, but they make these sweeping terrible balance changes with zero regard for how it's going to affect the systems that it interacts with. And I don't care what he says about the systems being complex. Okay, I get it. Helldivers has a lot of fucking systems in it, okay? They all interact with each other. You did a damage increase. And not only was it a damage increase, it was a durable damage increase, which means it only affects specific portions of our kit. There's like 4 items, but the Discord bot is broken. What Discord bot? Which one? Is the bot broken? I can't see other channels. The fellow... Oh, no. Oh, no. What the fuck? Oh, no. Okay, wait. This is not the main channel. Do you guys... Wait, hold on. Oh, shit. Okay. Wait. We gotta figure this out. Welcome. Chris. Fellow Hog. The Fellow Hog thing isn't working. Okay, wait. Did you guys go into the role request channel? I think that's what was going on here. The role request thing is just because I don't have a thing to automatically set up roles right now, so I try to filter out bots. There you go. You guys should be good. Yeah, all that bot is a welcome bot. It just says hi, lets me know that someone's in the server. Okay, we're good. Can somebody remind me what I was talking about? Oh yeah, no. I got you, brother. I got you. So they triple the durable damage that enemies do, right? And then they act like they couldn't see the implications of tripling the durable damage. But it's like, okay, what does durable damage affect? It affects the new tank, whose stats are completely transient because at this point the tank was not released. It affects our mechs. It affects our shield, like the ballistic shield. And I think that's kind of it. And you're telling me that you're so bad at testing that you couldn't see that all of the attacks that you tweaked basically one-tap our mechs now? Turrets too. There you go. Okay, so like emplacements and whatnot, right? But like that's a really small group of items that it affects. And it also affects them in a very direct way. Like a very direct way. The only proper way to quote unquote buff the mechs, aside from any other buffs they want to give them, is to revert the durable damage changes. Everybody already thinks the tank isn't tanky enough. So just revert them. You guys get what I'm saying. Crazy. In a perfect world, this would be disconnected, but we also have learned that if it doesn't work when it's in the spotlight, it will reasonably so create disappointment. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because you guys don't pay attention to your core systems. You make blind changes that have massive implications for like huge swaths of gear that we have, and then when it comes to fixing them, oh, you get real careful. You really start to focus and take your time. That's when it takes months. That's when it takes months. So, to your questions, no, we won't pull the mechs from the war bond. I understand, but L decision. You can still grind to purchase each war bond. If they were really about it, they would have just made the mechs free. Because, like, the best thing to do would be to attach them to an MO, but also if you attach them to an MO, then all of a sudden you're delaying the new content, which is also not a reward for the player base. Our rule is that things that are necessary to play... we shouldn't have things that are necessary to play in the war bonds, and neither of the mechs are. I know we've slipped up a couple times, and please call it out. What does necessary to play mean? Like anything aside from the basic assault rifle? What about things like the thermite and the ultimatum? I would consider those pretty necessary. Kind of a weird answer there. I will discuss this with the team and see what approach to take. I think this comes down to solving a core issue rather than limiting what kinds of perks and content is released and ensuring there are ways to play around it. He's going to discuss with the team, guys. This is the one. This is when everything gets fixed. I think this AMA has opened my eyes, and it was my hope, to the grievances that you have. I understand that behind harsh criticism, name-calling, and other things, there is frustration stemming from love of the game and the feeling that it is being mismanaged. The reason why I wanted players... I'm about to burp. God damn, I'm burping a lot today. What was I saying? The reason why I wanted to do this AMA is that I was so frustrated. Yeah. How's it feel, man? And it really hurts seeing a project born out of love for players, creating the belief that Arrowhead are more focused on value extraction than on making the best game possible. Okay. Keep in mind, this is coming from the same guy that said that the hardcore players aren't worth catering to. This is... Tanaka AMA means ask me anything. It's when somebody goes on Reddit and makes a specific type of post where people can go in, ask questions, and then whoever's hosting it can answer them, and those answered questions will get highlighted. Usually, like, celebrities and whatnot do it. And Pilestedt, the chief creative officer of Arrowhead, is doing one for the state of the game, and he's doing a very poor job. But yeah, this is coming from the same guy who said that hardcore players are not worth catering to. This is coming from the chief creative officer of the same company who is deciding now that you're going to need to log in weekly to get your war bond reward, or excuse me, to get your major order rewards because they need those player counts to go up. It's not what they said, but that's the only reason they're doing it. They're absolutely trying to extract value from everybody that they have. The reason that they're catering to low and mid-game players is because they don't have all the war bonds yet. I think the reason they're catering to them is because they're more likely to spend money, whereas people who have sunk hundreds if not thousands of hours into the game have probably done the super credit grinding and have probably future-proofed for the war bonds and probably have all of the war bonds in the game, which means that it's going to be harder to get money out of them. I think my biggest takeaway here is that there are so many valuable points, but since much of it is worded so harshly, there are so many conspiracies. For instance, that the team of 130 plus in Stockholm has abandoned the game. I don't believe that they've abandoned the game, but it can certainly feel like that, Pilestedt. This subreddit is discounted as being too fringe. I agree, but you are choosing to discount it as being too fringe. Here's what nobody understands, okay? In the beginning of time, there was one Helldivers subreddit, okay? And it was r/Helldivers. That was where you went to talk about Helldivers on Reddit. Then people started getting a little nasty, you know, because that was where everybody was located. There was a lot of controversy. So the low sodium Helldivers subreddit was created, where you had to go and you had to be nice. You couldn't be mean. On paper, you could be critical. Realistically, you couldn't be critical, but that was where you went to go hear people talk positively about Helldivers, because you need a little safe space and echo chamber, right? You can't handle opinions of people who don't like the game because it's not in a good spot. If you guys can't tell, I don't like low sodium Helldivers. I think it's some baby shit. And then, of course, because we now have the center and we have all the way here, we got to go all the way here, and that's where Unfiltered came from. So Unfiltered was the antithesis of low sodium, which means that if you have harsh critiques of the game, you go there, right? But when low sodium was created, I think that the main subreddit started feeling more emboldened to start censoring critical opinions, because if somebody had a critical opinion, they could just go to Unfiltered. So we don't want to deal with it in our main subreddit, right? So that means that all of the negative, or a very large portion of the critical feedback of the game got concentrated in this one subreddit and got placed alongside the schizos and the true whiners and the people who are genuinely just never happy and could never be happy. So you essentially throw the baby out with the bathwater. But you only do that if you are out of touch with your community, if you don't understand why these subreddits exist, the purposes that they serve, and what sort of content you're actually finding on those subreddits, rather than what they appear on the surface, right? But engaging with you all, I hope, proves that it's just hard. What's that? What does that mean? But engaging with you all, I hope, proves that it's just hardcore players with a lot of frustration. What do you mean I hope proves? The only person that needs to be proven to is you, man. Who else would that be proven to? Like your team? Maybe. We already got motherfuckers saying we can earn 400 super credits a month for playing 2 hours a session twice a week grinding. Dude, I hate that argument. Dude, if you just play it every single day. Yo, Reldaz with the 5? W, Reldaz. Put some W's in the chat for Reldaz. You're my 3rd donation ever. I super appreciate you. I don't want this game to die, but I can only get kicked in the groin, accidentally or otherwise, so many times before I actively hope you fail. 100% agree. 100% agree, Reldaz. The people who approached this game with the best of intentions and with the hugest tolerance for their mistakes, I know this because I'm one of them, they're burned out. They're burned out. You do great work. Keep it up, Reldaz. I super appreciate you. I super appreciate you. That's awesome. You guys are great. You're great, Reldaz. But yeah, they're burned out. Because the thing is, like anything in life, goodwill exists on a spectrum. It's like a stamina bar that's running out, you know? Imagine playing Helldivers 2 feels like playing Breath of the Wild and climbing a cliff that never ends. You see that green... Hold on. We're going to need a visual for this. Stamina. You see that green circle right there. You see that green circle. And the more months we wait, the more bad patches we get, the more times the state of the game gets dissolved, that green circle starts going pew, pew, pew. Yeah, dude, I'm an Opera GX lover. I enjoy it. And then every now and then we get a little We're So Back. And you know, it refills a little bit. But it just keeps running out because they keep draining it. We keep draining it. We could live in a world where this wheel doesn't have to drain at all. Doesn't have to drain at all. Where we just enjoy the game. Because clearly, through all of the drama that the game has had, still, a significant amount of people have stuck around. So there is something here that we enjoy. And they just don't understand what it is. Or they just refuse to cater to it because they think that their vision is like holier than thou and more important. Anyway, sorry, that was a big tangent. Thank you again, Reldaz, for the 5. That was super dope of you. Yeah, great point. Terrible answer with one decent starting paragraph that kind of misses the bigger point. It's not the Pilestedt I used to know, but at least he responded to Buzz. Okay, so we're back to the questions that we had yesterday, but we do have more responses. So we're going to go to Pilested's account. We're going to sort by comments. We still have nothing new since the most recent one. I feel like there was something else I wanted to... Oh, there's quite a few. Okay, there were definitely some answered questions that didn't get brought up. We saw that one. We saw that one. Okay, hold on. I want to point something out right here. All I'm going to say is that you could have called first time user experience in parentheses FTUA anything in the world, okay? You could have picked any set of 4 letters, and he chose to pick FTUA. Boggles the mind, man. Anyway, as a newer player, it can feel pretty overwhelming. Yeah, dude, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, man. Like when do you guys remember when Buzz had the drum track transition from the, you know, that one website that has naked ladies on it? God. And apparently he had no idea what it was. God, what a guy. What a guy. Not a gooning cell in his body. Anyway, sorry, let's get back to the point. Let's get back. Warrior, I'm not reading that out loud. Gotta go. We'll join later, newbie. Thank you for tuning in. I mega appreciate you, man. The VOD will be uploaded as, I say as usual. There's only one, but I'm going to stick to that. As a newer player, it can feel pretty overwhelming to see the sheer volume of content there is to unlock at the start. I'm upvoting that because I agree. Are there any plans to lessen this hurdle for newer players? I've had some friends join the game and then lose interest after seeing how much time and or money they'd have to put in to play with all the fun toys. And then he says, yes, we're doing an update to the first time user experience. We saw, in parentheses, FTUA. We saw the same issues in Helldivers and Magicka, but never fixed them as the lifetime of the game wasn't as long as Helldivers 2. This also applies to where we are in the Galactic War and what has happened. Kinda need a last time in Helldivers 2, but we'll see what the team comes up with. Do you guys see what the problem with this is? I'm gonna wait for 10 seconds, and I'm gonna let you guys analyze this, and I want to see if you have thoughts that are similar to mine. What do you think the problem with Pilested's response to this question is? I am at work shift in Russia. Warrior, I think if your work saw that you typed that out, they'd probably fire you, and low key they'd probably have a point. But we love you, bro. So you can just stay here. It's not so much a wall of text, Reldaz, but it is a hill. It is a hill. So here's the problem with this. In fact, this acknowledges it. The problem with this person says when new players join the game, the grind looks bad, right? And Helldivers says, and Pilestedt says, yeah, we're going to do a last time on Helldivers 2 thing. And it's like, no, man, that's not the complaint. That's not the complaint. The complaint is that you have $200 minimum of DLC if you want to get everything. And you don't have a good way of farming super credits that's tied into the actual game. Yeah. Yeah. He completely dances around it. And I don't think he circles back and answers this. Everybody tells him, you missed the point, you missed the point, you missed the point, you missed the point. Nothing. Yeah, terrible, terrible answer right there. Hey, just updated the answer to 1. What did he say? Okay, so let's revisit this one real quick. Whoa. My bad. I got the brain worm right there. Will we actually see community-driven events again, like stratagem rewards for major orders, or is all future content going to be war bonds and stratagems just given to us without build-up? And he says, we are working on creating a more interesting dynamic between the community, your actions, and what the GMs do. I have to burp. That's like the 8th burp this stream. Good lord. In a perfect world, we would have an articulated rule set that allows fair play between the enemy forces and where you guys could surprise us in many ways. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a perfect world. In like a moderately well-functioning world, you would have that. We are working towards this, and over the next years, you will have more power in the Galactic War. Guys, over the next years. Over the next years. Over the next years. Can we get some over the next years in the chat? I love waiting for years. I love waiting for years to improve the core driving gameplay system. Years. Man, that makes me angry. We are working towards this, and over the next years... Yeah, right? See you in 2030. What's up, Bladed Papaya? Welcome in. Yeah, no, genuinely. We're not, this shit is never getting improved, bro. This game is going to die before they actually make Galactic War improvements. Carbine Best Liberator, valid take. Valid take. I remember getting enough super credits for every Warbond until Viper Commandos just by playing. Ever since Viper Commandos, I had to grind and try not to blow my brains out. I'm glad that you haven't, man. I'm right there with you. Glad he was able to add some clarity. Thank God. Thank God we got some clarity. Do you think we'll get Illuminate fully finished in the next few years, or do you think we'll be at the stage they'll be in a war bond? That's a good question, Spooky. That's a good question. Here's my thinking, okay? For those who don't know, we talk leaks here. This is a leak that everybody has seen. The Illuminate cultists have been in the game since fucking 2024, okay? They've been here for years. They've been here for years. And they've been, like, functional, like, complete, playable. We've all seen the videos. So, I would love to say that they won't put new enemies in the game because they don't know how to code it. Yeah, no kidding. I would love to say that they will come out in the next few years. And I think that makes the most sense. Ooh, sandwiches with the 20 New Zealand dollars? Sandwiches. Thank you for your sandwiches. Excuse me. Thank you for your generosity. Let me finish my answer here, and then I'm going to read your comment. Okay. I think that it would make the most sense for them to release them in the next few years. But put some W's in the chat for sandwiches, by the way. That's super cool. But I don't know, man. Arrowhead just isn't predictable. They just aren't predictable. If they expand, so from sandwiches here. Thank you for the 20. If they expand weapon customization to support weapons and secondaries, made armor passives and mech arms swappable, they could just monetize more for less work. True! True! I would pay! Or grind. Genuinely, they don't even know how to be scumbags. They don't know how to be scumbags. They can't fucking figure it out. Sandwiches, thank you for the 20. I 100% agree. Yeah, no, they're genuinely they're not even good at being bad at their jobs. They're not even good at being bad at their jobs. They're not even good at being greedy. We've seen them in the trailer, multiple dev streams. They just refuse to release them. You talking about the cultists? Yeah, I think you're right. We've seen ship upgrades for like months and months and months. Grand Theft Auto 6 People is releasing in November. Helldivers 2 will be dead by then, dude. I don't think that Helldivers 2 and GTA 6 occupy the same niche other than at one point being mainstream. So I don't think GTA 6 will fully kill Helldivers 2. But I'll tell you what, player counts are going to drop. I'm going to be playing GTA 6. I'm going to stream that shit. That's going to be awesome. Dude, GTA 6, like online community let's play? We got to do that when it comes out. That'd be so much fun. They should just commit super credits to transmog. Please no. Please no, bro. That might actually be worse than not having transmog. Actually, I take that back. What can be worse than Sundere devs? Stupidly annoying soon. Amen, warrior. Wolf Nyan. I was referring to the ship upgrades. Yeah, Arrowhead got us grind. Okay, Peach. I can't say that. They've been in the game since launch. GG's. I'm glad you read my commits, sir. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Arch. I hope I did, though. I try to read everyone. I'll leave GTA 6 to you. Don't think I got the build for it. Oh, brother. It's coming out on console. It's not coming out on PC. The only build you need is a PS5. Fork over fucking $2,000 by the time it comes out, with the way that Sony is hiking prices. What is transmog? I don't get it. Transmog is when you are able to pick your armor passive. So, like, in the context of something like an RPG, transmog would be you get to equip the armor pieces that have the stats that you like, and then you get to equip the appearances of armor pieces that you've gotten in the past. So, like, let's say that you really like the look of an early game armor set, but you like the stats of a late game one. You can have both just by changing the appearance of the late game one. Transmog in the context of Helldivers 2 would mean that you can equip your armor passives. So, like if you're oh yeah, no sweat, Arch, no sweat at all. Yeah, you got it, man. I try to. So like if you wanted to do a stealth mission with the Viper Commandos armor, you could equip the stealth passive on Viper Commandos. If you wanted to have more ammo, but you wanted to look like the Freedom's Flame guys, then you could equip Siege Ready on the Freedom's Flame armor. It's genuinely just a net positive, and Arrowhead refuses to do it, even though they know that pretty much everybody wants it. Arrowhead squeezes the goodwill out of the hog. They've genuinely done it. Oh, no, babe, I haven't checked my phone. The battery was low. You're off at 6? Oh, that gives us plenty of time. That works great. Okay, so the stream is going to go for a couple hours more, guys. That's awesome. Yeah, babe, I won't go over. We must go harem route, guys. It's the only way. We need game competition to Helldivers player count fall. Amen, warrior. Like what? Yes, exactly like what Monster Hunter did. Like with layered armor. Helldivers needs layered armor, and they don't want to give it to you because they hate you and they want you dead and they want your family dead. Sorry. Disclaimer, they don't actually want your family dead. That was said for satirical purposes. If anybody decides to watch this back, Arrowhead doesn't want you dead. They just want your wallet empty. I don't remember if we even read any of this. Oh, yeah. Perfect world. We're working towards this, and over the next years, you will have more power. Oh, yeah, and then I got angry about the years. It almost happened to me again. Warrior scares me, guys. He's well, Warrior's like the stream mascot. He says quirky stuff, but I find it very entertaining. I like you a lot, Warrior. As rightly pointed out, I didn't answer the first question. Basically, yes, there will be rewards for events in the Galactic War. We haven't made any decision to stop doing it. Really? Really? Thank you all for recognition. Brother, we all see you, man. You're the man. Kind of feels like he's the stream jester. Yeah, do a little jig when we get dopamine levels to be higher, man. Gosh. Same as we've done in the past. Doesn't it feel like they made the decision to stop doing it? Ooh, Reldaz with the second $5? Super appreciated. Get some W's for Reldaz in the chat. I think I knew Piles was cooked when he dressed like a douchey Zoomer. No potential offense in his last interview 4 months ago. You're 40, bro. See, the thing about that is, like, if Pilestedt was still in touch with his community, then everybody would just think that that's, like, quirky and fine. Like, I don't get offended by the way that he dresses, but, like, now that everybody kind of hates him, I see where you're coming from, bro. I see where you're coming from. I don't want to insult the guy for trying to hang on to his youth. I think he rocks the trucker hats. I think he's doing just fine. And in a world where he can dress how he wants and he gives us the changes that we want, I'm perfectly happy. However, I'm also not going to argue with you, okay? Because you got to remember, they're all nerds over there, right? Which is exactly what they should be. They're just the wrong kind of nerd right now. They're like the angry nerd that can't handle criticism. Like when you say at instead of at, and like somebody runs up to you and stabs you because they're a true Star Wars fan, right? Hey, just updated the answer to number 1. Okay, so let's see what he's referring to. 2, welcome to worst case scenario then. You are very much squandering the love that the community has given this game and the trust that was once placed in Arrowhead, because that trust has evaporated again and again and again. Surely you've noticed the amount of people that still trust you in the community has shrunk after each big update that goes horribly. There's not years left to make meaningful change. If the past times are going to go by, there's just a few months. And then Pilestedt says, hey, just updated the answer to 1. 2, the game is healthy with a sizable community. Chew on that for a second. If the past few times are anything to go by... Oh, no. Excuse me, I'm reading the wrong one. I'm here to get your take on what we can do to improve. Does this look like a healthy game to you, Pilestedt? Your community is sizable. Is it as sizable as it should be? You know what this answer reads as? Let me see if I can make my my webcam take up the entirety of the screen real quick. Can it? Ah, no. It's going to be too complicated. Oh, God. I don't like that. I don't like that. Why is it doing that? Okay. Imagine that my webcam is taking up the entirety of the screen right now. Nuh-uh. That's what Pilestedt sounds like right now. That's what that answer was. That answer was nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. We have players. Our player base is healthy. It's healthy. You're just wrong. You're just coping. He's just coping is what he is. Yeah, just imagine I'm like real close and just going like, nuh-uh, my face is real wide. It'd be really funny, right? No, genuinely, that question is just like, no, actually, the game's doing really well and you're wrong. So, you know, cope. Yeah, I really don't appreciate that answer. It's very, very dismissive. Your player base is not healthy. You just have like an amount of people that are still playing it. But you had 500K when you released on Xbox, and now you regularly drop to sub 50. Like, that's not great, man. It hasn't been that long since the last piece of content. Like, it's been a little bit, but it hasn't been that long. He's dodging some of these questions politician style. 100% agree. What do you think is going to happen after, well, mind-opening experience? Would he learn or would he not? That is the question. I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Do you mean like, is he going to learn from this Q&A? See if you can word that differently for me. A healthy player base doesn't need 5 subreddits fighting each other and the devs. They have officially stepped into the ring, and they're swinging. Yeah, Arch, you know, I think that's a really good question. I think Helldivers 2 is like one of the least healthy games I've seen. 100% agree. I do think it's impressive the number of players that the game can hold on to when the game is in as bad of a state as it is. Because again, we're looking at tens of thousands of players consecutively, which means that we're probably looking at several million a week. But also, he knows that this isn't what it could be. And what they're trying to do is manufacture player retention right now. They're trying to manufacture it instead of just getting it from having a good game, which is what they had for like the first 3 weeks of the game's lifespan. Oh my God. Was Helldivers ever good? Chat, was Helldivers ever good? Anyway, Arch, I think it's a really good question. I would hope that he learns something from this. The question is if he takes away the right thing. I think he's very determined to not take away the right thing. But maybe we'll force his hand. Who knows? Have you played Apex? The game is actually really good right now. You know, I'm not really a huge competitive shooter guy because the truth is I'm just not that good at PvP games. I'm fine. Like, I'm competent. But I've heard nothing but bad things about Apex, and I thought that their monetization model was really, really gross with, like, having to unlock certain cosmetics by dumping certain hundreds of amounts of dollars into getting, like, X amount of cosmetics beforehand. It just seems like a game that I really don't want to be a part of. But I think the shooting looks good. I'll give it that. 4 other Xbox time. Yep. It's in critical condition. It is absolutely in critical condition. Bro got media trained during his sabbatical, or he just, you know, sucked up to the money. Either way, he's different than he was. Saying the player base is legit the same thing as calling sliced bread organic. Yeah, dude, it's completely artificial. And you're 300. God, dude, that's crazy. They've been riding on being the cool small devs after accidentally making a great game, and sadly, there are people still willing to defend them. Yep. Throwaway comment from Gilbert. Did you get sniped halfway through typing that? Most of that's left is the people who truly care about the game, and the devs are trying their best to push them away and shut them down. 100% agree. 100% agree. I think that the player base that comes back is the player base that doesn't care and just pops in for the new war bond, which is fine. You can do what you want with your money and your time. And I think the people that stick around are the hardcore players that hope it's going to get better. And the confirmation that stuff is not going to get better, I think, is going to start pushing away those hardcore players, like, pretty fast. Excuse me. Guys, can we in Season 7 of... Does My Truth Enforcer Chan care about me? Warrior, I think yours cares about you. I think we all care about you. Too many Adderall 13-year-olds playing PvP shooters. Agree, man. I'm employed. Like, I'm still young. I still got my reflexes, but I don't have the time to practice that some of these Some of these youngins do. Back in my day, people weren't as competitive. If you could wiggle your finger, you could dance. The Hog Gaming, there is 86,000 on right now, but there's only 50. Well, that's the thing. It's weekends right now. Weekends pump player counts. We used to regularly get 100K plus. We used to regularly get 200K plus, actually. A loss is a loss. Just because it's healthier than other games doesn't mean that your game is doing well, man. You know, you take a bar of solid gold, and let's say that this water bottle is a bar of solid gold worth $1 million. And I fuck up and I break it and I lose 90% of it, but I'm still left with 10% and it's worth $100,000. And somebody says, well, you know, that's worth more than most things you see. You know, you find $100 bill, people love $100 bills. It's only worth $100. It's like, yeah, but this used to be worth $1 million. And because I fucked up, this is now no longer as good as it can be, right? That's what Helldivers feels like to me. It feels like the gold bar that they've been shaving and shaving and shaving the value off of, and now we're left with nothing. Yo, has Arrowhead ever acknowledged the deranged situation that happened to the guy getting doxxed? That's a good question. They did a PSA, they did a public thing on the Discord, but I don't think they actually did acknowledge the guy who got doxxed. I think they basically just told people to stop being mean to each other. Thanks, guys. Great. I'm glad it took somebody getting doxxed for you to recognize that your community isn't doing so hot. Just so you know, volume a little too low. I had to crank my core volume up 10% to get it to normal. I can increase my mic a little bit. Here, I'll the main thing is, here we go. We'll do that. I don't want it to pick up my computer fans. That's the reason that I don't just crank out the gain. Does this sound okay, guys? Volume doing all right? Or even better, I died 10,000 times to make my managed democracy chant to smile at my corpse warrior. I don't even know what that means, man, but I appreciate you adding. Sounds good? Thanks, Wazer. Or even better, I died 10,000 times to make my managed democracy chant to smile at my corpse 8795. Word up, man. A lot of farmers too. Yeah, man, having a terrible time. Okay, so yeah, I don't remember exactly what I was talking about before, but this answer was slop. Did not enjoy it. I don't feel like Pilested's the same as he used to be, man. In fact, I know he's not. Do we have anything new yet? Ooh! Ooh! Uh-oh. Guys, AMA's been concluded. Thank you all. I concluded the AMA as I feel I have a pretty good understanding of the issues. I have written a note as conclusion on my takeaways and actions on this. Thank you once again for your engagement. Okay, guys, what do we think? Do we think he's going to have a proper takeaway because he's had like 30 plus hours to digest this? Or do we think it's going to be trash? Say one if you think it's going to be good. Say two if you think it's going to be trash. One if it's good, two if it's trash. Two. Okay. Votes are in. It's like I'm rigging the election right now, bro. Let's see. One, I got some hope still. Dandelion. All right. Newbie, welcome back. His takeaway, spooky. Okay, we got a couple ones. I appreciate the optimism, you guys. I really appreciate 200. This guy just logged like 100 votes against you guys. Let's see. Okay, that's the note. We're going to read this last thing, and then we're going to read the note. I want to add one more thing in regards to progression, because I see this coming up quite a bit, and I think I should clarify what I meant. When I answered questions about progression, I was mostly talking about the short term. Progression is very systematic. It touches rewards, resources, difficulty, player motivation, unlock pacing, balance, and long-term goals. Changing it is not isolated, and if done poorly, it can create new problems in systems that already exist. True. That is not meant as an excuse, and it is not meant as progression does not matter or we are not thinking about it. It was meant as meaningful progression takes time to get right, and we are working on it. I do think progression is one of the areas where Helldivers 2 has the most room to improve. That is clear from how many players have reached caps where resources and rewards stop feeling meaningful. I should have been clearer about that. Sorry. That's a true answer, Pilestedt, but that's not an excuse for not giving us anything over the course of 2 years. From what it sounds like, the work hasn't even started to start implementing progression. So how long do we have to wait to get this basic system that drives us to want to play the game? I appreciate the perspective that you have, because I think if this were day 1, then that would be solid. But this is like day 800 something. All right, so let's see what the note says. Hey everyone, I want to thank you all for taking the time to ask questions, challenge me, and share your frustration honestly. I did this AMA because I saw the disappointment, criticism, and mistrust in this subreddit, and it got to me. I wanted to get a better sense and understanding of what was at the heart of it. Actually, you did this because you thought there was misinformation and conspiracy theorism, but I digress. A lot of the points that you make are fair. Some are very painful to read, but I know that it comes from a group of players that care deeply about Helldivers and wants it to remain special. I understand that it's painful for you to read, man. Helldivers is your baby. I get it. But you need to understand that it's painful for us to see the game in the state that it's in. And it's even more painful to hear that the feedback that we're giving you is getting through to you, and it seems like you spend more time trying to decide why that feedback isn't valid, as opposed to trying to find the best way to implement that feedback in a way that benefits the player base as a whole. I understand that it's uncomfortable, but we're uncomfortable with you. We're not wasting our time making these posts because we're happy and because we don't see a chance for this game to be good. We're making these posts because we're angry and we're upset. Guys, I read ahead. It's totally fine. I think Arrowhead thought the DSS was going to be endgame progression since it dude, the DSS donations, I've never donated once, bro. Not once. If it gave me something, I might donate. It's just so trash. So my takeaways from this is as follows. Okay, we're going to read his takeaways. We're going to see if they're accurate. You want the game to deepen. Old systems, gear, progression, resources, and the Galactic War need more attention. It only took 2 years, but you finally got there. You want more meaningful reasons to keep playing beyond the next war bond. You want underused equipment to have a purpose, long-term progression to feel worthwhile, and community actions to result in memorable moments again. Yes. Yes, actually. Yes. That is a good takeaway. That's exactly what we want to see. Furthermore, the concerns that war bonds can feel like they are moving faster than fixes, polish, and systemic improvement. Which is not the intent. But perception matters. Trust is not perception is reality, my friend. This is the reality that you've created for us. We're not just one factor. We are the result of your pacing and your prioritization. So it's not a misinterpretation of what you've given us, assuming that's what you're alluding to. It is the interpretation of what you're giving us. It is the overwhelming interpretation of what you're giving us. Trust is not rebuilt by me saying yeah sometime in the future. The DSS does give you something, a stroke from the Eagle Storm wiping you again for the 3rd time. What do you mean you like me? Dev's reaction on us caring about the game. Those respond with my anime girl. True. Don't I have the Eagle Storms? Yes, he gets it. No, he kind of gets it right now. He kind of gets it. Trust is not rebuilt by me saying yeah sometime in the future. It is by action alone over time. It's by action alone immediately. But yes, continued action would be good. That clearly says that we are listening and acting in good faith. Yeah, no shit. That's what we're waiting for. Action. This week, I will talk to the direction team about how we can align more with the expectations that you have on the development of Helldivers. You want us to communicate better. That means accurate patch notes, transparency around priorities, more accurate known issues, and less reliance on me or someone from Arrowhead randomly jumping in to figure things out like this. Yes. When our communication fails, you guys fill in the blanks. And right now, many of those blanks are being filled with mistrust, and that's on us. It is on you. Action. I will report back once every other week, starting this week with where we are, what our thoughts are, and how we are moving forward. I can't promise every specific request in this thread. I can't promise instant solutions. Helldivers 2 is a large, complicated game, and some of these issues are genuinely difficult, but that's not an excuse for standing still. There is a lot of work that is in progress and that we will see the fruits of in the coming weeks, months, and year. This conversation has helped me understand your frustration a whole lot better. This is not only a demand for more, it is a demand for meaningful changes, higher standards, better maintained systems, and clearer communication. And in the end, a game that continues to feel worthy of the passion you and the community has given it. Thank you to everybody who participated constructively, especially when you were angry. That means you still care. Johan. Okay. All right. Gotta be honest, you guys. With the situation that he put himself in, this is probably the best response that he could have given us, okay? The problem with responses is that a lot of times they're transient. They're not concrete, right? There is two things in here that give me hope. This meeting with the direction team and reporting back to us every 2 weeks. Of course, you can change your answer to a one-wazer. Of course. Okay, in fact, you know what? Let's do that. If you think that this message is good and it is indicative of hope and a bright future for the game, put 1. If you think it's meh, put 2. If you think it's bad and meaningless, just like everything else, type 3. Okay? So 1 is good, 2 is meh, 3 is bad. Okay? Some 1s, some 2s, some 1s, some 2s, 1, 3, 1.5, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. We got some 1s, we got some 2s. Jacob type 12. Doomer's gonna doom. 1, but I want some real action. It's alright. I already heard all of this a year ago. 2, actions speak louder. Can I put 4 for good message? Skeptical, it will do anything? Sure. Yeah. All right. I think that falls more into the 2 category. You know, like, I'm not really crossing my fingers, but I see what you're saying. 2.5 corp. Okay, so 2 and a little bit worse. 4. Okay. We've added another answer to the multiple choice test. All right. You're a trendsetter, Wolf. Okay. I'm leaning between 1 and 2 right now. What really hammer 5. All right, pseudo. What really hammers this home is that the determining factor for if this is going to be good is what these reports consist of. When is the Hog going to stream Chivalry 2? I wasn't gonna, but I could. I mean, shit. I do own the game. Yeah. At the end of the day, what does this boil down to? The feedback that we want boils down to action, because what words are promises of action, right? These reports are promises of action. Them putting together a community report is what they've promised to do in the past, but they never gave us concrete dates. They said, yeah, we want to be more like Digital Extremes, but they kind of left it there, right? They never gave us anything more. The fact that he's saying it's going to be every 2 weeks, I have no reason to believe. Well, I think there's one reason to believe it could be different, Monarch, and this isn't me defending them at all. Okay, I'm a big Arrowhead hater. I hated on Arrowhead in my Crimson Desert video, but if they don't put out a what's it called? What did he call it? If they don't put out a reward to the community every 2 weeks, then they're gonna light the community on fire. He is essentially holding a knife to his own throat right now, like in the sense that he has to do something, otherwise it's gonna stir up a shitstorm. If the Helldivers community knows how to do anything, it is bitch and complain. Bitching and complaining about the same stuff can be challenging, but this would do it. This would do it. Johan, if you do end up seeing this, I am rooting for you. I'm skeptical, but I think this was a good response. I think this was a good response. People with pattern but you got to see, Reldaz, the pattern that they're breaking here is that they're giving us concrete dates. They're giving themselves a deadline. It's the equivalent between giving someone a job and telling them to do it, as opposed to giving them a job and telling them do this by 5 p.m. If you don't do it by 5 p.m., you're cooked. You're going to prioritize differently, right? Clearly, they haven't cared about the community enough to prioritize differently in the past. It just hasn't happened. This could be the start. This could be the start. Whew. Damn, guys. Damn. That AMA was way more than I thought it was going to be. I'm crossing my fingers, man. I'm crossing my fingers. Yeah, finally the bare minimum. No shit, Ivan. Ivan. For a game that makes satire of politics and corporate... Dude, that's the thing. That's the thing with products that make fun of people who ship products. It's like, at the end of the day, you're a product. And if the purse strings start getting tight, Sony starts banging on your front door, I'm going to burp. You start seeing the financials, you start deciding that you need to make more money, or you get seduced by the offer of making more money, you become what it is that you satirize. You become what you criticize. Damn. Let's see what the Helldivers Unfiltered subreddit is saying. Completely unrelated story about ice cream. I own an ice cream store. I only sell chocolate. People love my chocolate ice cream. My most dedicated customers get a scoop every day. However, they tell me that while they love my chocolate ice cream, they would like to get vanilla too, so they aren't eating the same thing every day. I tell them, while I'd love to add vanilla, chocolate sells so well, I have to keep making just chocolate. After a while, they stop buying every day and buy once a week, then once a month, then once a year. Now that I notice people aren't buying chocolate, I start making vanilla, but it's too late. They've gone to another store. Low key. Low key. Specialist target. Not bad. Not bad. Listening to this while playing Slime Rancher is such a vibe. Dude, I so enjoy Slime Rancher. I struggled to get into the second one. I tried to play it recently because they've gone to another superstore. No! Give us your super credits, please. Yeah, game is not healthy. I have to be going insane because everything about the game seems completely normal to me. Dude, shut the fuck up. This is something that really bothers me. When people who, like, don't tune into community discourse say, I'm still enjoying the game. I'm still having fun. It's like, yeah, man, I bet you are. Because you're not tuned in, you know? Like, I remember when Arc Raiders first came out. I used to play Arc Raiders with my buddy every single day. Or, excuse me, with my buddies every single day. We would log into trios. We would go. We would get loot. It was great for, like, the first 100 hours, you know? And then when we kind of started to see the problems with the game and we all kind of petered out, you know, they started updating the game. And there was drama here. There was drama there. If I was to go into the Arc Raiders community right now, and I was to, like, play a game and have a good time with it, right? Okay, that's cool. I played the game. I had a good time. Clearly, I'm not invested enough for the issues to affect me. But if I then go out and I say, well, why are you guys whining so much? I played the game and Slime Rancher 2 is out. It is out. Why are you whining so much? I played the game. I had a good time, right? You guys, you kind of sound like babies right now. You kind of sound like you should lock in and stop crying. Like, that makes me an asshole. That makes me the problem. I'm telling them that their experience is invalid because my limited experience exists. Yeah, not a fan of that. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the AMA. What a nightmare that has been. I wonder if Shams has said anything. in the Discord. Streamer mode. Is there any risk to turning off streamer mode on Discord? Like I can show usernames just fine and be safe, right? It's probably fine. I'm surprised he didn't mention how mad people were about the delay. What delay? I believe there's settings for it. Yeah, but like, is there risk? Like, if I hit this disable button, am I gonna put myself at risk, or is it fine? I don't know. I don't see how it would harm people. That's fine. Fuck it. From a specific user, Shams Georgiani. Nothing. Last time he spoke to us was over 2 weeks ago. Well, your pings will be heard. Oh. Oh, okay. How do I turn it back on then? I don't know. Who cares? A little ping never hurt anybody. My. Wow, that is really something. Okay, well, seeing as that wraps up the AMA portion, I guess Pilestedt kind of put the kibosh on that. Maybe we can move to React content. God knows I've got stuff that I can react to in my Discord. What do you guys think? You want me to react to something, or do you want me to... You just got here what happened? Jonathan, we just spent about an hour and some change going over the Pilestedt Q&A on the HelldiversUnfiltered subreddit. I hope this is heard on the stream. It was. It was. Ah, shit. Yeah, I am going to have to... Discord. How to enable streamer mode. Settings. Streamer mode. Settings. Where is it? Where is it? Jesus Christ. How to enable streamer mode. It's under app settings. Am I tweaking, y'all? Am I oh, streaming? Streaming. Oh my god, bro. Genuine Discord is like one of the worst apps ever. I swear to god. Windows settings. Do I have to look up the year? 2026. Go to appearance and then scroll all the way down. Okay. Boom. Settings. Appearance. Ah, thank you. W. Wissing. Yeah, that's how you say your name. Yeah. +1 for Hex's video. Yeah, we could do... Oh, yeah. You know what? I do want to react to that. So, Hexa, the guy on YouTube, Hexa HD2. Is his name just Hexa? He released this video. There's no incentive to play Helldivers 2. I actually ended up Wizzy Wing, if you please, sir. I think I'm gonna just call you Wiz, bro. Bro is setting NASA computer because Wyatt needs to... No, genuinely. What the hell? He made this video called There's No Incentive to Play Helldivers 2. I think that this is arguably, and I mean this seriously, I think this is arguably the worst problem that faces Helldivers 2 right now. I think that if we had what he's about to talk about in this video, it would alleviate a lot of the issues. Yeah, bro. Yo, you guys remember that that Eric Andre clip where he's talking to Wiz Khalifa and he says, when you whiz, do you get a sense of Khalifa? When you whiz, do you get a sense? When you take a whiz, do you get a sense of Khalifa?
Ladies and gentlemen, please. What? Girl in our neighborhood. Nightmare. You gonna be doing? We'll go and come out. Woo woo.
Ah. I hope I didn't just copyright my stream right there. I may have. I might need to trim that. Yeah, he says, when you whiz, do you get a sense of Khalifa? Also, that was really loud. Sorry about that. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. Okay, so we're gonna tune into this Hexa video here. Please tell me how the audio is relative to my microphone, because I'm really not getting a whole lot of feedback in the immediate moment. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, I've been playing since launch, and the only reasons I play is to waste time with friends and because you make mods for it. Really? Wolf. Are you in my Discord, Wolf? If you are, link one of the mods that you made. I would be interested to see. I'd be interested to see what kind of work you're getting into, and then we'll get into this video. Audio sucks because I muted my TV. Then unmute your TV. You can't. I'm gonna need to type. Then unmute your TV. There we go. I'm not, but I make VFX mods. Yeah. Which which VFX mod did you make? We're going to take a look at your work, Wolf. Name one. The most recently updated one is Missile and Rocket Visual Overhaul. HG2, Missile and Rocket Visual Overhaul. Let's see. That's dope. That's dope. Ooh, 341 endorsements? Wolf9, there you are. Let's see. What have you made? Truly Nuclear Hell Bombs, Vox Engine, Warning Indicator, that's cool. Flak Shrapnel Trails, Immersive Extraction Beacon Flare, Loot Pods, Semi-Immersive Smoke Signals? Ooh. Ooh. This is cool. Stratagem Beacon Flares? Ooh, yo, hold on. Does this make it so that when you toss a stratagem... Fuck, that's loud. Hold on. Yo! That's actually super cool. That's super cool. That's cool. I rock with that. I think that's really sick. Yo, why did the sound go so crazy there? Hold on. Listen to that. That's sick. Did you make those sounds too, Wolf? That's really cool. That's really cool. What's your most recent one? Let's see. Yeah, that's sick, man. I enjoy that. Oh, that's the original Rocket Pod sound? Okay, well, I guess they sound really good. I play through a sound bar, usually, so I actually have slightly worse audio. Missile and Rocket Visual Overhaul. Here we go. Videos. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, working on it. Yeah, working on it. Awesome. Got it.
Okay.
Get ready, here it comes.
Yo! That's cool! What the fuck? Yo, why is your Helldiver going crazy? Listen to this.
Get ready, here it comes. Somebody shoot that fucking guy.
Yo, that's cool.
Yo, hold on. Shoot that fucking thing. Hit that position. Light those fuckers up.
Light those fuckers up, dude. That's cool. That's not yours. It's still cool. Wolf. That's really sick. It probably actually could be Payday Voices. It could be. Damn, that's sweet. Okay, Wolf, you are hog approved officially. We're gonna watch this Hexa video now, guys.
I started this channel because I really like Helldivers 2. So much so
How's
that
the
I
audio?
wanted to put ideas
feel
out
good?
there on
Sound
how
good?
the game could remain sustainable, both for player engagement and developer effort. I've always hoped this game would last, and I thought the developers
Volume is
wanted
good?
that
Cool.
too. My first video was an idea I had for bringing some sort of endgame content to the game, since
This is
Helldivers 2 lacks any
quarter
sort of
volume.
endgame.
Okay.
My second video was about bringing a cyclical campaign to Helldivers 2, like
Yep.
the one in the first game,
Which it
because
should
I
have.
figured maintaining an ongoing Galactic War campaign isn't sustainable in the long term, and an autonomous system would need to replace it if Helldivers 2 were to last for many years after launch.
Or if you want to be engaged in the war
Later,
at all.
I made a
because
video
there'd be
about how the
stakes.
Galactic War could be expanded beyond major orders,
Emil, don't get me started on the Space Marine voice DLC. What a fucking mess that was.
giving
I love
players
Space
more
Marine, but that game
agency
is-
without interfering
could be
with
doing
the
better right now.
developers' plans for the narrative of the game. I was interested in the sustainability of this game, and I still am. But as time
are we
goes
all.
on, it becomes more and more clear that the developers either don't care about keeping this game alive, or they are too blinded by their own echo chambers to realize that the way they are running this game is not sustainable.
Yep.
This new change was just issued.
Guys, aren't you happy that you have to log in to get medals now? Doesn't that make you happy? Dude, I love being engagement farmed. I like feeling like a product. I like feeling like a consumer.
The day after the new Mech Premium Warbond trailer. Now, if you want medals from the latest major
Starter's
order,
Overhaul
you
goes
need to log
crazy.
in during that major order. They aren't given to all players passively.
Uh-huh.
Mind you, you don't actually need to participate in the major order at all. Just turn the game on once a week.
Uh-huh.
This change was made for one reason only, and that
To improve the player's experience. Mr. Hogg, if you need a drawing or painting or some simple 3D modeling stuff, I'm glad to help. You know, I'm not really in a spot right now where I do need that kind of thing, but I will keep you in mind if I need it in the future, because God knows where this channel will go.
that is because it looks good on paper.
Yo, should I get one of those, like, 45-second YouTube intros with, like, dubstep playing in the background and my name in 3D letters spinning and shattering apart and then coming back together? Ah, that'd be good. This change was intended to give our players a sense of pride and accomplishment. Yup.
Arrowhead can show their executives,
Give that Wolf the fellow hog roll. I don't think that Wolf is in the Discord.
Sony and Tencent.
Wolf,
that
if you do
player
join the
counts
Discord,
are
I'll give you the
high,
fellow hog
and
roll.
Many log in to play at least once a week.
For anybody who wants to join the Discord, shameless plug. Go crazy.
When that's not really the truth. People
I'm calling it when we win the next demo. It won't give players the medals, as the thing handling it will. As the thing handling it will bug out, and no one will get the medals, or only like 60%. I think that is a really good guess. I think you're probably right. Don't forget the Bandicam link on the top of the screen. Yeah.
logging
Yeah.
in once a week to collect rewards
Fucking
they didn't
machinima
earn
in the front.
isn't having more active players.
I
They
should all over
play
what he
at
said
least
there.
once
Hold
a
on.
week. When that's not really the truth.
Yep.
People logging in once a week to collect rewards they didn't earn isn't having more active players.
True.
They'd actually need to give the players an incentive to play if they wanted that.
But that takes effort and time, and balancing is hard, and we can't give you progression for, like, I think 8 more years, maybe. Just wait. Just sit
A
tight.
lot of people are riled up about the latest mech-themed premium warbond.
I'm riled.
And I don't think mechs
Yo, put one in the chat if you're riled right now.
being
Where
in
am I
the warbond
riled
is
at?
really at the heart of the
Where am
issue.
I riled hogs at?
Selling vehicles in a premium warbond definitely sets a new precedent. But people shouldn't really be surprised, as
Sandwiches
Arrowhead has
is
been
riled.
pushing the envelope
Vam
in
is
regards
not
to
riled.
warbonds and the superstore for a long time now. Arrowhead started reducing the amount of content within premium warbonds as early as June of 2024 with the release of the
I riled on my ground till I hog.
Viper Commandos warbond. Prior to this, premium warbonds contained 3 armor sets, 3
Dude, I saw a video about Foxhole the other day saying that it was basically dead, and that just broke my heart. Because Foxhole was one of those games that I always wanted to get, like, if it went on deep sale. But I'm not going to get it if the player base is dead, man.
primary weapons, a secondary weapon, and a grenade. Viper Commandos only contains 2 armor sets,
Yep.
1 primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and a grenade, sort of.
Was Viper Commandos when they stopped including 3 armor sets? No, you know what? I think it was Chemical Agents. It must have been.
You'd think this sudden change to offering way less content for the same
To be fair, Agalia, gacha games are all engagement. Helldivers is none. But yeah, that's the engagement actually feels better in like a gacha slop game than it does. Fucking PUBG feels better than Helldivers 2. At least you got loot crates there.
price
I don't even
inside
like loot
warbonds
crates.
would upset people. And it did upset some people, but a lot of people, myself included, weren't that bothered by this. And there's a pretty simple reason for that. We had just gotten multiple new stratagems
15 people have joined the Discord today? Holy shit. Okay.
through major orders at this time. The Quasar Cannon, Airburst
That's
Rocket
awesome.
Launcher, and Emancipator Mech had all been granted to players through the Galactic War just a month or two prior to this change being made to premium
What's Limbus Company Warrior? I've heard that name before.
war bonds. The level cap had recently been increased from 50 to 150, and a new set of ship modules were added, giving players new things to grind towards. There was also
PUBG is like your racist grandpa. Love him no matter what. Amen.
the PSN account linking fiasco around this
Oh,
time,
man, that's funny.
which understandably stole the spotlight from the reduced size of premium war bonds.
Good gotcha games with gold story. Oh, okay.
But if these last
I didn't
couple
think a good
weeks of
gotcha game
Helldivers
existed.
2 have taught us anything, it's that players have the capacity to be angry about multiple things at once.
True. Nope, actually, we're just a slop hive mind.
Chemical Agents released in September of 2024 and was the
We're
very
just a bunch of
first
fat
war bonds to
fucking
contain
chuds.
stratagems. Up until this point, the community had assumed Arrowhead would not be
Hey guys, this weapon still doesn't do anything, by the way.
monetizing stratagems, but that was evidently not the
But the player base is happy. Right?
case.
Balancing is good.
This set a much more significant precedent
Alien, you actually might be surprised. His answers weren't that great, but his takeaway from the whole Q&A thing was decent. Like, it's pretty much all that you could ask for.
than mechs being in
Other than them, of course, taking the mechs out of the war bond or making the war bond free or something, you know, but whatever.
a war bond.
How long has it been since the sterilizer was left untouched? Well, it came out a couple months later. They gave it, like, fucking ergonomics buffs. It's just... It's like, I have a flat tire. Okay, well, I polished your rims. It's like, that doesn't... my tire's still flat, dude. I can't fucking drive.
But
Yeah, and since then, it's just been untouched.
players weren't really that
I can rant about Foxhole if you want, like, a lot. Brother, you are more than welcome.
mad
Probably better to do that in the Discord than in the chat, just because this is like a Helldivers themed stream. But I am willing to listen. I'm 100% serious.
about this, which is strange. Except it's
Sterilizer's fun if you're doing a challenge video, because using the sterilizer is the challenge. Premium content, by the way.
this set a much more significant precedent than mechs being in a war bond. But
Use the sterilizer and don't eat a bullet before the match ends.
players weren't really that mad about this,
Challenge.
which is
Impossible.
strange. Except it's really not that strange when you consider everything else going on at the time. This war bond came towards the end of the 60-day plan. A brief period
first
in the
Helldivers
game's
looked
history where Arrowhead was actually listening to and applying player
I don't know, Chief. If your answers are terrible and don't change anything going forward, I don't think the takeaway means anything. I agree, but if I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, I would say that he didn't realize how bad the community sentiment was, and that he hadn't quite locked in for like the first 30 hours of the AMA. Yeah, I mean, the answers are bad, but his takeaway was good. His takeaway was good. I don't know, Ian. I've never streamed Helldivers 1. I don't even own it. I've always just I just love Helldivers 2 so much. I've never really thought about playing Helldivers 1, but maybe I'd have a good time with it.
feedback through their updates. A lot of people were just excited and
Hog, you should watch the retrospective for Helldivers 1. It'll make you think things and make you view the second game differently. I think we're actually going to watch that next. That's been on my list and I haven't seen it yet. Is that by Hexa as well? You'll have to let me know.
happy that the developers were actually catering to them.
Yep.
The orbital napalm barrage was given to players as a reward for successfully completing a major order
Yep.
just a few days before this war bond dropped. So players still felt like they were earning real things through engaging
We are slop mine. Fucking chuds. Yo, where my chuds in the chat at?
with the Galactic War. 2 to 5 ship module upgrades had been added to the game a couple months prior to this as well,
man.
so players had some much
By the way, the orbital napalm barrage, you could easily argue, is like way fucking overpowered. And they just refuse to touch it because of vibes. Which, like, okay, like, I'm decently alright with that because it has, I think, long cooldown. But why leave that untouched and then nerf our durable resistance? Where's your philosophy there?
needed progression outside of premium war bonds.
Didn't realize the stream was 1 minute off. Oh yeah, you gotta make sure that you're up to the live point, newbie.
So why are people so pissed about the Exo Experts war bond? Well, The last stratagem awarded from a major order was the Grenadier Battlement in March
I was going
of
to say the Bastion, but it
2025.
wasn't even rewarded from
It
a
has
major
been
order. They just
over
gave
a
it to
year
us.
since the last time a major...
Look at that. Look at that. People will look at this gap in the timeline and tell you that Arrowhead is the same. People will tell you that there's no problem, even though from fucking before April of 2025 to February of 2026, we didn't get a single piece of content that wasn't locked behind a war bond. And people will look at this and tell you there's no problem.
Major order awarded anything that wasn't war bond medals.
Exactly. Well, I'm having fun, and it's the picture of that fucking guy standing up. You know the picture I want. Yeah, this fucking dude. If you make a meme with this picture in order to tell people that actually I'm having fun, you need to choke, bro.
The level cap
I
has
hate that
remained
picture.
at 150 for 2 years.
Terminids are balanced around orbital napalm, meaning that it's really effective against them, or meaning that they're balanced to counter it. Because I feel like they're the ones that it's most effective against.
At this point. Players have gotten so desperate for a level cap increase that they've gone so far as creating a hypothetical
Yeah, newbie, I'm
level
trying to answer chats
calculator
more often
to
now.
see what level they would be if Arrowhead would just raise
A few
the
too many
damn
got
level
by me
cap.
the first time.
It has been nearly 2 years since our last ship module, and by extension, 2 years since we've had any real reason
Guys, controversial take. I kind of don't give a fuck about getting extra ship modules unless they just give us like some crazy and unique abilities. I don't really understand why ship modules are this exciting hill that everybody is dying on. For me, it was always just kind of like passive buffs, you know? Reduce your call-in time, that's really handy. Make flames do more damage, that's really handy. But, I mean, unless they've been cooking, if they just give us an extra tier, it will not have been worth the wait. And it won't do much for the game.
collect samples on missions.
Oh, trust me, Emil, I completely understand. And I think the fact that we've seen the fact that there are more ship modules, like, yeah, it's something, right? But people are just going to chew through it, and then we're going to be back in the same spot. We're going to be back in the same spot.
Leveling up is admittedly pretty meaningless.
Yeah, the war
It
is fake
doesn't really
dandelion.
affect
100%
how you
agree.
play
Welcome to the stream,
game.
by the way.
But collecting samples, on the other hand, samples are basically the only reason you need to extract from missions.
Yep.
The only other thing you get from extracting is a bit of extra XP.
Yep.
Which for
doesn't
a lot
matter.
of players hasn't mattered anyways due to a relatively low level cap.
Mikaivistan 9830, welcome to the stream. I 100% agree. I think that's something that very often happens. People can't distinguish. Let me rephrase. People don't make the effort to distinguish between gaslighting and hate, and because of that, all of the people that have valid criticisms about the game turn into the baby getting thrown out with the bathwater slop.
Helldivers 2 hasn't been
Are you bathwater slop? I don't think so.
in an extraction
no bathwater
shooter
slop
for
in my
almost
chat.
2 years at this point, because extraction
There's no bathwater slop in my chat.
is completely optional and
Read that.
meaningless.
Now read that again.
Needing to collect samples makes the game more engaging and makes extractions more tense, as you actually have something to lose if you don't make it.
You guys
onto
remember that Helldivers used to be an extraction shooter? Now we just extract like for vibes and funsies.
the shuttle? When was the last time you needed to race the mission clock to
Hey, no sweat, skeleton. You take care of yourself. Yeah, have a good day, man.
retrieve dropped samples?
Thanks for tuning in.
Personally, when I die, I don't go out of my way to pick the samples back up, and most of my teammates don't either.
Like, I want secondary customization. That's my desire for the game, and that's such a basic want. Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's, honestly, mega controversial take. I'm not even that excited for secondary customization. I think they're just going to give us fucking scopes and sights. If they give us cool things like extended mags and like muzzle attachments and stocks and things like that, that could be cool. But if it's just primary attachment 2.0 electric boogaloo, yeah, I don't know, man.
And that's if I even bothered picking up samples in the first
10 times scope on a Senator win, low key, that would go crazy. Although doesn't Senator still have like really bad drag?
place. The only
Where's the
reason
hog
to do side
bath water?
objectives, collect
in my
samples,
bath,
or
bro.
even extract are purely just for love of the game. There is no in-game incentive.
Add a muzzle brake to your pistol, ergo jump. I wouldn't even hate that. Like sacrificing massive ergonomics on your secondary to have like no fucking recoil. I think that'd actually be really cool. Instead of
haven't
just
even
here's a drum
mentioned
mag
weapon
that objectively makes your
customization,
gun better.
which hasn't been expanded on at all since its addition nearly a year ago at this point.
Yeah, Wiz, I'm with you there.
Players aren't pissed that
I try to avoid the ultimatum because sometimes I think it's a little like meta-y, you know? I'm much more a fan of the Talon, the Senator, the Verdict, which I'm aware are also meta picks, right? But also, I don't think the ultimatum is overpowered either. It's just I don't use it frequently. But I see why people do.
War bond. We are pissed that all we have are
Dude,
war
the
bonds
ultimatum is
now.
the biggest iron.
Players want deeper systems to hold their attention.
Yep, we do.
I'm not even asking for more ship mods.
We're begging for reasons to coax us into going and playing the game more. Like I'm begging for you to hook onto my dopamine receptors and just get me in an infinite loop of boosting your player count and making you money. I just have to want to do it.
Modules. Give us some other way to spend samples that actually get the player something.
Even more controversial take, if I could grind super credits on difficulty 10 in like a way that made sense and didn't feel like a direct downgrade to difficulty 1, I wouldn't even care if I had to spend like $2 on the war bond. I wouldn't care if I came up slightly shy, or like if I had enough of the war bond and I spend $5 on the superstore or something, because I would feel like I could have grinded more, you know, and I chose to spend my time otherwise, which is fine. Yeah, I don't know. Full clear D10, get 50. Yeah, no, I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool. 50 might be a little high, but still, even if you got like 15 or 20 for doing a full clear on D10, and you could just farm those, you know, like if Helldivers is your game, and you're doing fucking 50, 60, 70 missions a month, you could get the credits to get a war bond and start chewing into the superstore a little bit.
Thing in return. How about a one-time use mission augmentation?
If I got a fistful of super credits for busting down fortresses and extracting the mega sample, I'd be up in those all day. 100% agree. Imagine if you got like 10 super credits by default for completing a D10 mission and 10 credits for extra for extracting with the high value sample. I think that'd be really cool.
You can buy for like 25 to 50 samples each.
Helldivers should reward people playing effectively, not hindering the galactic war on bug planets farming. 100% agree. And I think it should reward skill expression as well. Right now it punishes skill expression. If you're good at the game, you're going to have a worse time.
Other way to spend samples that actually get the player something in return. How about a one-time use mission augmentation? You can buy for like 25 to 50 samples each. Players could use these to spice up missions.
Yeah.
Maybe it could allow them to pick the enemy seed that they fight.
I've never been particularly excited for like the spend samples to get a special type of stratagem for X amount of time, but it would be better than having nothing, you know? Give super credits for killing the damn Hive Lord, 100% agree. Dude, I would much rather farm killing Hive Lords than D1s.
Or create an enemy surge of their choice for that mission only.
Yep.
Another option is allowing players to spend samples to allow the whole squad to have access to an extra stratagem for the duration of a mission.
I think you could argue that having samples convert into super credits could also be a really good way of encouraging people to do higher difficulties. When all of a sudden you get a sample, it isn't just nothing. It's like a piece of a super credit. I think that'd be cool. Could you please elaborate on how being better makes your experience worse? I'm not sure what you mean. Of course. It's my main problem with the game right now. So picture this. Let's say that you are a new player, right? You lack experience, and of course you lack the gear. And your skill ceiling is just low. You're not going to be able to kill enemies the way that other people are. You're going to be somebody who is stuck to the low difficulties because you're the player that they're designed for. If you're a player who feels engaged on the lower difficulties because it matches your skill level, then you are rewarded by having smaller maps and denser POIs, which means that you're going to get more super credit drops. So farming to you isn't actually farming. It's just playing the game. And as a byproduct of playing the game, you're going to get more super credits than somebody who plays on, like myself, somebody who plays on difficulty 10 would. Because on difficulty 10, the maps become very large and the POIs become very spread out, and the loot pool also gets diluted because like certain sample types start getting included in what a POI could contain. So players who play on the high difficulties, like difficulty 10, if they want to get a war bond without spending $10 every month or $20 if they want to get the superstore gear, they have to go and run missions at low difficulties. But they're way past these missions at low difficulties. Their skill level far exceeds the stimulation that these low difficulties provide, and as a result, they're bored for hours on end. So the reason that we want super credit drops to scale with difficulty is because there's a system in place that doesn't reward high level play. High level players are going to be funneled into spending money more often because the gameplay that they're doing the bulk of is not earning them super credits and isn't progressing them towards the next war bond, at least nearly as effectively as it should be.
Maybe we could spend
Where's our humming stims for the stim pistol? Oh no, don't you get it? If the stim pistol was good, nobody would use it anyway.
samples to temporarily upgrade our stratagems, like with the experimental
That's not my take. That's a take that Arrowhead has that I criticized.
stratagems we got during the Festival of Reckoning event. This would not only add a new wrinkle to gameplay, but it would be a meaningful
I see the problem I'm facing right now, Lo. I've been farming while watching the stream. It's helped, but I still want to commit sewer slide. Yeah, that's like when people tell you, oh, just put on a podcast, just watch a stream. Like, if you guys are super credit farming right now and watching my stream, first of all, thank you so much for watching my stream. I get that. It's the situation that you've been forced into. But, like, I try to look at things from the big picture. And for me, the big picture is I'm employed, I have limited free time, and the way that I spend my time, which is something that you never get back. Time is the one thing in life that you never get back. There's no refunds. I want to spend it doing something that I like, because there's a lot of time that I have to spend doing things that I don't like. So when I enter into my free time and I turn on the game that's supposed to entertain me, and I have to numb the boring sensation. I watched a video at one point that said that boredom, like your brain recognizes it in the same way that it recognizes pain. It's an experience that is painful in the literal sense. So the idea that we have to put on slop in the background, like Novocaine, in order to get content in a game that we paid $40 for that has no progression anyway, is something that I can just never support. And it's why I take such a huge issue with people who look at the systems that we have right now and say, well, did you know you can farm for super credits? It's like, yeah, that's the problem. I shouldn't have to farm. Let me rephrase. I'm okay with farming in the sense that you're doing the same thing over and over again. But the thing that I'm doing should be fun. Like in Warframe. Warframe is a farm. Warframe is a grind. But if you like the core gameplay of Warframe, you are rewarded for playing at harder difficulties. Steel Path. It makes the enemies really high level. And it gives them percentage boosts on top of their stats. But if you can build a character that can handle Steel Path, then you get like double the loot drops. It makes perfect sense. So all of a sudden, everybody is in the early game preparing to go to Steel Path and working through the progression there. And then when they get to Steel Path, they feel more incentive to play Steel Path because rather than having a game that's been beaten and run out of content, they have sorry, I lost my train of thought. They have a method that continuously rewards them and keeps them engaged. I watched this vid earlier today and found it pretty boring. It depends on why you're watching the vids, Chris. I would say that compared to his, what's it called? How many views? Yeah, 16K views. He's still cooking. Compared to his hit, which was the, hey, Sorrow, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I super appreciate you, man. I do my best. I try to, at least. Compared to his antagonistic Dungeon Master video, this isn't like as much of a hit, but compared to some of my best videos, some of the videos that I make aren't hits, he's still making a good point here, which is really the reason that I'm watching it.
got during the Festival of
Warframe, respect your time investment. 100% agree.
Reckoning event.
I should watch Odo's last two vids. Okay, we can do that. 100%.
This would not only add a new wrinkle to gameplay, but it would be a meaningful
Do I have 84 viewers right now? I can't see it because I'm not on my phone. Do I have 84 people watching? Fuck, that's cool.
way for players to spend samples, and it's a reward system that wouldn't end the way shit modules do. Arrowhead could add this feature once and not need to constantly update it just to keep it relevant.
Hey, Seven, that's still huge.
Players
That's
would have
massive.
a reason to collect samples from that point onwards forever.
I love you guys
Do you
too.
ever
I mean
wonder
that.
why the Helldivers community
By the way, if you use protein powder, pray for those workers. That stuff gets on your throat for days when you're working with it. Do you work with protein powder, Spooky? Do you work for like Echo or one of the distributors? I'd be really interested to know. Maybe you can hook me up.
is so divided nowadays? Well, I don't have all the answers, but I
Used-
think
do you
a
mean
big
used to do it, or you're saying
contributor is
you're
that
used
the
to it?
community doesn't have a common goal anymore. Regardless of our opinions on weapon balance, enemies,
Sounds
or the
terrible.
developers, at the end of the day, we all banded together to fight the Galactic War. Well, we as a community haven't really had much of a reason to
Maybe,
care
newbie.
about the Galactic War since we haven't gotten anything
Why'd you stop, Spooky? Just because it was hard?
out of it aside from war bond medals in over a year. Maybe we'd all be a little more unified and cooperative if we had another Battle for Tien Quan type.
Nah, I don't think so. I think we'd be more unified if we got more war bonds. More war bonds. I think we should take super credits out of missions and make them pay only. In fact, just put them in the PlayStation Store. Just make them $10 a pop. That's what I want.
Event where we all band together.
The economy is rough right now. I can't afford to spend extra money on a game I already bought just to stay competitive, which sucks, man. I would 100% agree. I would 100% agree. 100% agree. The economy is doing really poorly right now. We're all feeling it. We have less disposable income. A game that tries to leverage me into spending more money on it isn't something that I appreciate.
To earn some
Hope
new
you're doing
gear.
good, PD. I'm sorry to hear that you're
When
in
was
rough
the
times.
last time we had one of those major
I feel
orders
ya.
where the community was given a choice between liberating one planet for one reward and another planet for a different reward?
Got to fill up that Steam DLC tab. So much empty space, ripe to be filled with war bonds. Yeah, dude. Arrowhead sees the Steam page, and they see this, bro. Just whoosh. Nothing. Emptiness. Emptiness.
Reward. It was
Room to be
nearly 2
filled.
years ago in June of 2024, back when the community at large wasn't
Distance to travel. The conditions were horrid. The hours were grueling. My health has been better since. Don't have to cough up powder. Dude, working for a health supplement company and then taking a hit to your health as a result is actually, I don't want to say it's funny because it's not, but it's ironic as hell.
discussing monetization or balance or the meta. They were discussing whether or not they
Otis'
should
question
go
was
for
actually
the
pretty good,
anti-tank
Dandelion, if you're
mines
talking about the
or
Q&A.
save the fictional children. And guess what? The community chose to miss out on the new strategy.
Fuck yeah, we did. Dude, saving the children was
This
crazy.
community doesn't
Saving the
suck,
children was
or at least
crazy.
It doesn't have to. We just need a common goal, and we'd have one if the
Genuinely
Galactic
hype.
War actually mattered at all
I'm about to
anymore.
burp.
Making players log in once a week to claim their rewards
I play
like
Mario
this is
Odyssey?
some kind
Nice,
of mobile
Chris.
game isn't going to do much.
I can buy Warbond, HG Gun PLA kit, or baked sweets. Arrowhead, you lost.
For player
Yeah, man,
retention.
gotta get those pastries in.
What you might want to try is updating old progression systems and adding some actual
Dude, we got this chocolate cake from Tom Thumb, and it was like $6 instead of 20. Like it was on sale, and I was eating it with peanut butter while I was watching Game of Thrones at night, bro. That shit went crazy. Chocolate peanut butter, I'm a sucker for it. I had the runs every morning. It was nasty, but I just kept doing it, bro. I was like, it's probably not the cake. It's probably not the cake. And then like the 5th day in a row, I was like, okay, it's cake. It's the cake.
depth to the gameplay loop. Players need incentives to engage with a game's systems,
Worth it,
and
though.
having 5 different currencies at the top of your screen all
Everyone looks like this if they played the game for any amount of time.
capped out at all times is a pretty crappy
Oh, absolutely. It was answered poorly, Dandelion. Pretty much no answer that Pilestedt gave was good, which is kind of nuts.
incentive. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Yeah, I liked this video. It was simple, but it was good. It was good. And he's making light of a really important issue here. Arrowhead is starting to farm you guys. Arrowhead is starting to treat you like you are a wallet rather than a player. I think that's fucking gross. I think that's nasty. So don't give in. Or do. You know, I won't tell you what to do. I'm going to be getting the war bond. I might spend $10 on it. I also might farm with some of you guys. I haven't decided yet. But it's kind of a challenging thing because it's like I don't want to support their practices by giving them money, but I don't want to show them that super credit farming is good by super credit farming, right? So I don't know. Anyway, that was a good video. Thumbs up. If you guys haven't supported that video yet, there's the link. Go crazy. Send him my love. Send him the hog's love. And come back to the stream, of course. And then we should watch something else. Yo, what if we tuned into my stream? Something else. Yo, what if Yo! The hog is streaming! Oh my god! Yo! Okay. The hog is streaming. Sorry, that was tripping me out for a second. We should watch something else. Let's get some votes going. Let's get some votes going. I've got a bunch of content that I can watch right now. What would you guys like to see me watch? Just straight from chat. The protein products I worked with was ISO Pure Whey Protein Isolate. Okay. Is ISO Pure the brand? Did you work specifically with isolate, or did you work with like hydrolysit, normal whey, or were you specifically doing that? The first video, it's in the Discord. We're not watching that, bro. But I did see that. I did see that. Was a company called Glanbia. Never heard of them. Helldiver Animation. Did you finish the Dungeon Master video? I haven't watched it on stream, Mike, but I have watched it multiple times, like in my own time. Listened to it on the way to work more than once. He made some great points. Let's take a look at a couple animations. Now, I'll tell you what. I got to be careful about these animations, bro, because that one that we watched with the, what's it called? Oh, we got a roll request here? Fuck! What? Why are there so many people? Oh, my God. Okay, I'll take care of this. That one that I watched with the General Brash was, it had apparently copyrighted music in it, so it started to like split my revenue stream between me and the people that like owned the music. And don't get me wrong, this isn't strictly about revenue. I love streaming for the love of the game, but I don't want you guys to generate money that goes to the fucking corpse, you know. So, but I managed to cut it out of the stream anyway, so it probably won't make a big difference. But we might have to cut some of these sections from the VOD for that reason. But if you're here, if you're live, yeah, you get the real experience. It's just incentive to tune in, bro. Okay, let's see. So we got media here. Most pointless gas weapon needs a buff. We'll probably swing around to this. We're not watching that, bro. We're not watching that. General, Helldivers. Okay, we'll just go to React recommendations. We're gonna go to Helldivers 2 content. Okay, I told Peace and Coffee I would watch this the other day. So we're gonna take a look at the Meet the Helldiver video. We're gonna see if it's good. Okay. Pretty good animation. I don't know what Sledgehammer that's supposed to be. Was this made in Gary's mod? This looks like it was made in Gary's mod. Yo! This dude is moving, bro! Look at his legs! Okay.
I don't even know where to start.
Okay.
Do I even know who you're talking to?
Hit him with it, bro. Hit him with it, bro.
What's up?
Hit him with it, bro. What's up?
I have an idea. An idea who I am. I tell you this. I'm cool.
Yeah!
Beautiful. Listening? Okay. The grass is turning green, the sun is shining, and brother, I heard it to my tone. I'm a
Fuck yeah! Dude, I love the hammer.
Platform is Viaform. Give it fucking dead. Yeah!
I enjoyed that. That was cute. Oh! A little epilogue here. Oh, hello, shoulder. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. Texted in Discord, his next video is 10 times better. Whose next video? This guy's next video? Or were we talking about Odo still? Gotta go get some sleep now for my night shift. Thanks for the cool chats. Bye-bye. Sandwiches, I hope you have a good shift. Don't give that money to Arrowhead unless you want to, but don't let them force you into it. And yeah, stay safe, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Ooh, Vindibius with the Vinbadius with the $10. There is this YouTuber called Chase Zazel, and he made a video called Helldivers 2 has no end game. It's interesting because it's fuck. Whoa, sorry. I got a little lost in the sauce there. It's interesting because it's a perspective by someone from the outside, not a hard, I assume you meant hardcore here, Helldivers 2 player. Newbie sent the wrong video. www. Okay. YouTuber called Chase Zazel. Chase Zazel. Let's see. Oh, it looks like I may have actually seen this video. Huh. The taxing reality of Helldivers 226. Helldivers 2 has no endgame, and it's your fault. He sent it now? In Helldivers? Media? We'll look at this, and then we'll do the video you recommended, Chase Hazel.
First time I've actually seen a bed in like years, months, days. I don't know. Why are you looking at me like?
Bro. Bro. Bro, what are you sending me right now?
Hey, sis, is everything okay in here? We heard you crying from down the hall. Whoa! Did you just empty both tanks in there? Whoa! My man! Hey, Joey, come take a look.
My man! Dude, do not dap up the guy that's banging your sister.
New boyfriend. He's a hell diver. I mean, there could be an alien invasion and I still wouldn't care. I'll make you care, you son of a much.
Oh my god, dude. They're gonna execute you, bro. They're taking your CO1. You're gone.
Oh, you done it now, you stupid mother. Hey, Commissioner Kai.
Oh shit, Commissar Kai?
Sorry, you cattle-topping crustacean. We got a dang old noise complaint saying there's a bug breach in your dang old house.
So, to cut right to the chase, apparently my sister has a new boyfriend, and they were making a lot of noise.
If this were really Commissar Kai, he would put an ultimatum shot into that Charger's face right now.
Some kind of sick joke. Don't make me get out the PP and pulverize your race.
PP?
That's right, the PP.
What in Liberty's name is a PP?
Bro doesn't know about the PP.
Is it a big PP or a little PP?
Why don't you have a look at my PP and see what kind of PP it is?
Okay, let's see your PP.
Yeah, I see you looking at my PP. You can check out my PP.
Whoever made this video is freaked the fuck out.
Well, howdy there, Helldiver. What seems to be the situation here?
Is this bad fan fiction or is this awesome fan fiction?
Well, technically, she's not my little
Yo, send a 1 in the
sister.
chat if this is
She's
bad fan
popped
fiction, and
away
2
for
if
a
it's
long
awesome.
time, and she started calling me Big Brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Speaking of which, what were you doing in there?
I didn't hurt her, did I?
Kid, you
Did he
got
just
pelvic
slap him in the
thrust like
nuts?
you're mining for platinum on Cyberstan.
Oh, don't tell me you were having a situation where you're trying to hide the 500 kg in a butthole, were you? Why do you have to start using that word? Well, I heard everybody use that word.
What's wrong with the word bughole?
Seems like people are conflicted. We got 2 1s and 1 2.
Dirty.
Hey, I gotta take offense to that.
Now, young man, I swear, you don't need to grow your pee-pee anymore, but you definitely need to grow some. Oh, hey, wow, that's the...
That was really something. 53,000 likes for that. Wow. The people are simple in their wants and needs. Okay, we're going to watch Helldivers 2 is your endgame, and it's your fault. Thank you for the video recommendation. Who sent that? Peachy Hamster. Ooh, we got a Reddit moderator worm. I feel like I should ban that guy. I jest.
2 has a massive progression and endgame problem. And honestly, it's the community's fault. Well, the vocal majority anyways.
Okay.
I need to be clear. I'm not talking
I took
about
the volume a little
everyone.
bit. Does it
I'm
sound
talking
good?
about the loud crowd that celebrates every mediocre war bond like it's the second coming and puts those...
We have a name for them, bro. We have a name for them, bro. Say it with me, bro. It's the Glaze Divers.
unfunny
That's who he's
memes in
talking
comment
about.
sections anytime you criticize something that's not weapon balance. All while completely ignoring the fact that this game's core systems have been rotting for 2 years since launch.
You're right, Slick. You're
The
right.
only new
Give him a
things we've
chance.
seen are a half-baked weapon system, 21 paid war bonds, and the vehicles. But to the small group of you asking for level progression
Yep.
to actually matter after level 25,
Yep.
you guys are the real unsung heroes.
Yep.
You get no respect for refusing the status quo of a
Yo,
$700
you guys
million
remember- hold on.
game that sells a fully matter after level 25. You guys are the real
Remember that scene? You remember that scene from Wolf of Wall Street? That's us, bro. We're Wall Street Chads. That's us.
unsung heroes. You get no respect for refusing
That's
the
you.
status quo
That's you.
of a $700 million game that sells
Hog
a
approved.
fully
War
undeveloped
bonds
progression
only for-
system
no progression
and a
levels
non-existent
mean nothing.
endgame.
Yep.
You guys want real improvement, not Warbond number 85.
Yes. Oh, good.
If I sound riled up, it's because after 2 years of this game being out and with the backing of a giant like Sony,
Yep.
we are facing a stagnation that most people don't even want to admit
I'm a
or
super
they
credit
just
farm
don't
for an
care to
armor in
see.
the superstore.
And I'm tired of
Why
watching
not,
this
man?
game flatline while we pretend everything is fine.
Yep.
We're looking at a major chunk of players who only come back for a new war bond or maybe a major order.
Yep. And then they
And I mean,
leave
the Steam charts do
because
not
there's
lie.
nothing to do.
Most people leave very fast.
Very fast.
Once you hit level 25, the heart of this game,
Excuse me.
what little progression there was, fundamentally stops beating.
Yep.
By that point,
I think it might be level
I've almost
30 for the
unlocked or
Bastion,
have
but
unlocked
his
all
point
the free
remains the same.
stratagems. And while I'm most likely not technically maxed out on my ship,
Haven't seen
those
Freer yet,
remaining
Warrior, but
upgrades
I
are just
believe
a
you.
long, agonizing crawl for rare samples that don't actually change how I play.
How are you on DRG at the Hog? Seen the new Rogue? You know, Deep Rock Galactic came out on PlayStation Plus for free like a year ago, and I played it and I loved it. Like, it was really, really good, but I never got deep into it because I didn't have anyone to really play it with. It was always with randoms. I did see that they're making a roguelike, and I've heard mixed things about like what people are expecting from it, but I love roguelikes. I think they're great. So I might tune into that. Yeah.
This leaves a massive
DR does mod
void.
Helldivers 2. I just like Helldivers 2, but like I can recognize that Deep Rock Galactic is the better game.
Now look, I know we've gotten new
Play it with the
gameplay
community. We
content.
might.
We got the Illuminati.
We might.
back.
It'd be a
We've seen
good-
the
it'd be a
cyborg
good game
return.
to play with
We've
the
got new
community, I
enemies
think.
to fight. That's great.
'Cause it has
But everything
crossplay,
else in
right?
this game
It surely
that isn't
does.
a new enemy or a paid war bond has not been touched or expanded upon like at all.
Yep.
Look at the half-baked weapon system, and the 21 paid war bonds is legit all we have on that front. This is a fundamentally broken
it's not
system.
crossplay?
It forces me into a loop where I either have to crack open my wallet or spend hours or days in a super boring desert farming mission for super credits. And look, here's the math.
Helldivers 2 is
That's
still
not
potential,
good.
man.
Honestly, this feels like a
Oh shit, he did the calculations. Okay, let's read this. So, optimized solo warp pack, 7 minutes, 8.5, roughly 215 super credits an hour, so you're going to grind for 5 hours. Standard solo, if you're not optimized, you're doing about 7.5 missions per hour. It's about 135 super credits. That's 8 hours. Full squad, 6 minutes, 2.5 hours. Worst luck, 8 minutes, 11 hours. See, this is there were some people posting some slop comments in some of my videos saying, "Dude, just play normally and you'll get all the currency that you need in like an hour, bro." If that's the case, then why don't I have fucking a million? I've got almost 1,000 hours in Helldivers. Why don't I have 1,000 times 1,000? Is that a million? It might be a million.
free-to-play mobile game. But Helldivers
Because
2
it's not fucking
is a
true.
paid title. I cannot give it that pass on that front alone. For a $40 entry fee, I expect a complete
can
experience,
finish reading
not a
Canto Women's Company,
storefront.
get myself
When the
into
meaningful
character
progression for 90% of the new
DRG
content
has no
or any
crossplay. Let's
content.
just look it up real quick. Does DRG have crossplay? Limited cross-platform play, primarily between Xbox consoles and PC. Steam and PlayStation players are confined to their own so I would need to get it on PC. I can do that.
That this game gets, God forbid, is locked behind
You guys
a
all have it on PC?
21, as of right now, separate $10 war bonds. Well, there's actually 2 that are more, but I'm just gonna say 21. That's insane. Whatever. The base game starts feeling like a paid demo. This isn't just double dipping.
Rock
it
and
is a
stone.
bare minimum of content
At a
disguised
rock,
as a
at a
full release.
stone.
The developers have essentially built a mobile game architecture and slapped
You've only
a
cracked it? Do you mean that you like sailed the seas, or am I misunderstanding?
console price tag on it. The math proves
judgment,
it was
bro.
designed to be frustrating rather than entertaining. If I'm playing solo without a premium war pack, I'm looking at roughly 7.5 hours of perfect runs every single time just to earn a $10 war bond.
Clocked in almost 2K hours since launch. I've always had to farm super credits for every war bond. Normal missions don't do it unless you play it religiously or have insane luck. 100%, bro. 100%.
If luck isn't on my side, that
If
climbs
they just
to
tied
over
super
11
credit,
hours.
the thing is, Arrowhead needs to decide if super credits are a resource that you can actually grind for, or if super credits are a resource that you have to buy. Because right now, they're a resource that you have to buy. Sure, there is a method that exists that can let you get them in small amounts over long periods of time. But it is so separated from the game that, and people are so conditioned to super credits being like that, that when you introduce the idea of like, well, what if you just got a small amount for doing missions? People are like, no. At least a couple people are like that, you know?
per unlock.
They've been conditioned,
To
bro.
finish the
Genuinely.
current catalog of 21 war bonds, I would have to grind for over 230 hours
Yep.
of repetitive, joyless missions. If that's not
No. Because you get 300 super credits in a war bond. But he did the math there.
230
So it's 210. It's only 210 hours of your life, bro.
hours of repetitive, joyless missions.
Just spend $10.
If
Don't you have a
that's not
job?
predatory ecosystem.
What are you,
I don't
broke?
know what is. It intentionally slows down the gameplay loop to sell convenience. The
Doesn't engage
developers
the core
aren't
gameplay
just
of the game at all. It's
asking
completely
for
different
initial
experience from regular
investment.
Helldiving.
They're
100% agree.
demanding money.
I think it's the
or
biggest problem
to
with the
spend
game.
Literal
I'm not exaggerating.
days
And there are
or
big
even
problems.
weeks just to have a reason to keep playing their game.
Yep.
And all of my problems with Helldivers would pretty much be non-existent.
You know something that keeps me playing Warframe? Platinum grinding. I crack fissures, I get loot, and I sell it to people. And I make thousands of platinum that way. And I find it fun because I'm getting something that's tangible and valuable to me. If I could do something like that in Helldivers, I would play it all the fucking time. That would be enough to tingle my brain. If they just give us super credit farming at high difficulties. I'm serious.
If this was a free-to-play game.
Yeah, 20 credits for a
like
D10
Warframe,
operation.
The wait times are for crafting.
And I think you should get 10 credits if you extract with the high-value
people,
sample.
They're just minor annoyances. They just start their builds before they get.
Now, it would probably be best if you did missions rather than operations, so that people aren't incentivized to leave random missions if they're not the last mission in an operation. You got to remember, people are always going to optimize their routes, right? But just scale it down so that you get like X amount for every single mission. I think it'd be 100% fine.
Get off the game and they're ready by the next time they're playing. In exchange for that small bit of patience, we get developers who actually love and play their own.
Yep, because war bonds are the only form of content we're getting. 100%. 100%. That is the core problem with all of this. It all ties back to the fact that we're not getting anything else and everything. Do you guys remember when the Superstore was not themed around the war bond? Like when we got the Michelin Man armor and when we got the Drone Master armor. Those are the two that I can most clearly remember. Like when we got the Stormtrooper armor. And the war bonds just also had 3 sets. But they're taking content out of war bonds and putting them in and putting it in the Superstore now. It's very clear. And they're being cute and they're branding the Superstore pages right now. But excuse me. There's a reason we're getting less content overall and more content in the Superstore. It was
game
sneaky.
that we love.
Best friend.
Well, Michelin Man armor as in like they had like that bomb disposal suit. So the Helldivers bomb disposal suit. It's one of my favorite armors. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, this one. Fortified Commando. Dude, this armor is so tough. This armor is so fucking tough.
Mr. Hideo Kojima, everybody.
Yo, they got Kojima?
Support the community
That's
with
fire.
Henogen and some of the best customization in the industry. And more importantly,
Let us trade all... Dude, if you could fill up all your sample reserves and then trade it for 100 super credits, I would be so down with that. So down with that. Probably wouldn't even get enough to get the war bond, but like that would be engaging and give me a reason to extract.
we get massive expansions with new weapons and new warframes completely for free, backed by a functioning.
Look at that mech.
And new warframes completely for free.
Yep.
Backed by massive expansions.
Let's all watch that
with
again.
New weapons and new warframes.
What up, Money
completely
Dog?
for
Mon
free.
One Dog, welcome to the stream. Glad you tuned in 2 days in a row. You missed us talking about the Pilestedt Q&A. He did some questions today. He answered some questions. And now we're doing React content. So the VOD will be up tomorrow. You're also free to rewind. But if you want to stay live with the stream, we're looking at this video by Chase Zazel called Helldivers 2 Has No Endgame, and it's your fault. You can probably guess what it's about.
Backed by a functioning, player-driven in-game economy. You compare that to Helldivers, the
Max
game is a
OP.
$40 upfront price just to walk through the door, and I expect a complete experience.
It's interesting that you say that, Money Dog. Should I call you Money Dog? Should I call you Mon? What do you prefer? Anyway, the answers were terrible, but his takeaway from the experience was actually pretty solid, and he outlines it in the post itself. So you're actually going to see some praise from me, Mon or whatever. Okay, we'll stick with Mon. I can just call you my dog, bro. I did give him some praise. He gave a decent answer at the end. But it was kind of more of the same. Lots of non-answers, lots of misunderstandings of what the community wants. Stuff like
the
that.
bare minimum foundation that functions like a predatory mobile game.
It's still bad,
While
but
Warframe gives you
DRG only does cosmetics. It does cosmetic-only DLC. I have no problem with cosmetic-only DLC. Not one. As long as you have cosmetics that you can get by playing the game and only certain cosmetics are premium, no problem at all.
Tools to unlock everything through play and its default gameplay, Helldivers locks every ounce of meaningful progression that they release behind 21 separate war bonds.
Wait, what is that? I
Meaningful
couldn't even read the whole
progression
thing.
that they release.
POV, I'm a glazed diver hearing you point out the fact that the game is a $40 storefront and that I'm obsessed with weapon balance when there's way worse problems.
Behind 21 separate war bonds.
It's fire
And
right
if
there.
not, well, you already heard how much hours it takes. This grind is the biggest piece of boring I've ever seen. Why do you insist the grind is
Yo,
okay
Nick
just
and
because
Mandy
it's free to
reference?
paid game?
This dude knows ball.
Am I the only one who understands the complexity of this ambitious desert grinding? This grind isn't stupid. You're stupid. Oh,
Yo.
it isn't
Yo,
stupid.
yo.
Complexity of this
Petition,
ambitious desert grinding.
petition for
This
fucking
grind
Billy to be the new. Can this be glazed divers? I'm gonna make this a sticker later.
isn't stupid. You're stupid. Oh, why you gotta be so mean, glazed diver?
Dude, they're so mean. They're so fucking mean for no reason. It's like all we want is this game to be reasonably better. And they're just so mean. They never stop. Like, bro, why are you being mean?
The pushback I got
You
from
could
my
be
last
anybody
video
you
was
want.
peak irony to me.
Chat, you could be anybody you want in the world. You could be the kindest, brightest piece of sunshine that somebody has ever met. You could be the person that somebody meets and goes back and tells their friends about, like, wow, I met this person and they made my day so much better. And glazed divers choose to be toxic freaks on the internet. Crazy.
I suggested that super credit should be a reward for play.
You want the game to be better? How dare you? I mean, imagine a game where there are like 75 war bonds. That's the thing. They're going upwards and outwards, bro. More war bonds, more war bonds, more war bonds. What does the game look like in 5 years if it's still around? Are there going to be 90 war bonds? Is it going to be $3,000 worth of DLC? I low-key want some more armors to be tweaked here and there. Dude, have you guys seen Polar Patriots concept art? God. The fur coat on this one and the pure white cape is so tough. And this, the Arctic Ranger? Dude, why did they make it blue? Why would they do that? Dude, these armors genuinely have the potential to be some of the sickest armors in the game. So cool. And they completely fumbled them. Completely fumbled. Crazy. Who knows? Maybe we'll get armor coloring one day and we'll get this color scheme. Fur collar so sick. Dude, 100%. Google, please, if you can. Polar Patriot should have come with muscle enhancement. I'm done. Oh, you already did? Yeah, dude, I was already on that shit. Yeah, dude, it's like the Faram set. But, God, don't remind me of the ghillie cape, bro. Viper, Commandos, ghillie cape. Images. Yeah, this is what I want to see. No, fuck you. Helldivers 2. My bad, Google. Dude, look at that. It's got leaves built into it. Can we show image in full screen mode? Open a new tab. Dude, look at these. Look at how sick these armor. And this is like the dead leaves look. And this is like the bright green with the yellow skull. God. So cool. So cool. So cool. God. So tough, dude.
Playing high difficulty missions instead
Yeah,
of
it's better
forcing
than the
you to
official.
farm trivial planets. And half the comments called me entitled or told me
If they're
to get
goats,
good,
they'll add those
because
as
apparently
progression
I should
cosmetics.
just be happy to get any currency at all, according to them. But look what's happening now.
We should have gotten a ghillie suit in the stealth warbond. Lukewarm take.
A guy organized a charity event, literally trying to raise money while
boy.
challenging the devs to play with
We all
the
know where
worst
this
gear,
goes.
just to get some basic weapon
I'd kill you
tweaks.
for that
Not even
killing kid,
anything
bro.
hard.
I wouldn't kill you. That's a lie.
Literally for the benefit of the community. And the glazed
might kill
divers,
someone.
the same ones who told me to shut up and be grateful, responded by doxing him,
Yup.
by targeting
Yup.
his where he worked.
Yup.
And they weaponized this
Hey guys, do you think the game isn't balanced very well? Okay, here's your address.
man's charity for their own agenda to glaze Arrowhead.
Yup. Pretty much.
And the official response on the Reddit and the damage control they were doing, they just started scrubbing the evidence and banning anyone who tried to call out the glaze divers.
Yup.
They legit issued a statement by banning the word shield, glazer, and bootlicker.
Mike, peace out. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother. I hope you have a good shift, or at least a tolerable one.
And they aren't trying to stop the doxing. They're just trying to make sure you can't describe the people doing it. They'd rather sanitize the subreddit and protect the safety of the players.
1318 Necro Arroyo Lane.
Unfiltered Helldivers should tell you everything you should need
Just
to know
imagine
about
future
how
Warbond
Arrowhead treats
player
the
experience. From which Warbond should I pick from 100 Warbonds? Yeah, dude. They think it's a good thing. They think it's variety.
I
It's
haven't
like,
seen
no,
enough people talking about this
it's a
because
mountain.
The mods or the
It's a
sheer
mountain.
fear of the vocal
I
majority.
also hope it's tolerable, bro.
I know
how
this
it can
might
be.
look like white knighting, but
Guys.
I really hope it shows it as a
You have 10 super credits, bro. Don't you have a job? Don't you know that you can get all your super credits in an hour? Did you know you can grind for super credits?
the community just how deep the rot goes. If you're willing to throw-in a man
Yeah,
who
Jack.
just
Moderators on the main
wanted to
sub,
do
they're
charity
tweaking.
for literally
Genuinely.
the smallest tweaks
Sorry
of
that
all
happened
time.
to you.
For over a $40
for the best,
co-op shooter that's definitely not perfect, you're not defending
Yep.
the game. You're the reason why it's falling apart, and
Yep.
you're the reason this game has no progression or anything besides Warbond.
Yeah, Spooky. Don't you love that you have to run missions on the lowest difficulty? You should be grateful that you can grind super credits. By the way, this game costs $40.
You're the reason. Okay, so how do we start fixing progression? We need new
You
meaningful
add some.
systems. We haven't even finished
That's
the
how you
weapon
fix it.
system.
You
It's
fucking
been
add
2
some.
years and secondaries don't even have levels. Like seriously? We'll get into more of that
Dude,
later.
genuinely, if I got given super credits by a modder, I would keep them. I wouldn't do that message Arrowhead. Oh, a modder gave me super credits. When they start treating me like a like a consumer. When they start treating me like a player again, like a person, like my time and my money matter, then maybe I'll engage with the systems. But right now all they're doing is saving me time.
But it's just ridiculous. So look at Black Ops 3. It had a paint shop system where you can make custom paint jobs for all the guns.
I got a feeling they'll combine some war bonds together for like 1500, 1750 and try and sell more for newer. I don't even think that's a bad idea. I think packs of 1500 to get like 2 war bonds at once, especially if it was like Viper commandos and like Python commandos. That'd be cool.
Imagine that here. I can spend my useless requisition points to buy stickers,
It's because their anti-cheat is terrible, Jack.
stencils, or brushes. We could even earn exclusive stickers for participating in major orders.
Yep.
It makes the gear feel
Could you imagine getting medals for your... Dude, I remember when we liberated Heath. It was the first planet we liberated, and I was hoping that they would give us some kind of medal or something. They didn't give us anything. Having medals that represent campaigns that you were in would be so cool. So fucking cool.
personal. It makes me feel like my own person than just another clone.
Not
And
like
guess
war
what?
bomb medals,
If
like
Sony
a medal you
wants
can
money,
wear, you know?
Put stickers, camos, paint schemes in the superstore. If I want to grind for them on super Helldive difficulty, if those reward changes went through with super credits, let me. If I don't have the time, I'll pay for them.
Yep.
If I can have a sweet dragon on my
Yo!
laser gun,
Yo, that's
or
tough.
some tally marks on my helmet, I'll buy it just like in Warframe, or I'll grind it.
Excuse me.
This allows even the level 150 players.
Put older war bonds on sale and give steeled veterans for free. We are all vets after Cyberstand now. I won't argue with you, bro.
To feel
I
like
won't
they're
argue
making
with you.
progress. They can have infinite customization and use their inner fashion frame or destiny drip. Because we know the true endgame of any live service.
I want a real battle medic armor in Helldivers. Dude, I'll take you one further. I want a trauma team crossover. And I'm so far from joking, dude. Trauma team. Rocking with these armor sets in Helldivers, genuinely dream come true for me. Genuinely would be a dream come true. This is what we want the medic sets to look like, and they just fucked it up. They're all ugly, but they're all almost cool, you know? Yeah. They could do a crossover and I'd be happy. I'm 100% serious. I'm 100% serious.
This game is drip, but in Helldivers,
Dude, CDPR is
drip
so
is a
fucking
puddle.
good. Cyberpunk's such a
Give
good
me a
game.
reason to spend those 50
I have 1K hours. I saw cheaters 3 times, mostly speedran objective and spammed expendable and mortars. Yeah, it sounds about right.
1,000 capped out requisition points. Let me buy a stencil of a Terminated skull for my
Yeah,
shoulder
Jack,
pad,
hook him
or
up.
tally marks for my helmet to show I survived 100 hell dives or whatever. This is how you turn a disposable clone into each person's own character. And I know that people are like the grunt fantasy, but I'll get into that later. But it's not just about the gear in our hands that we can play with and customize. It's also about the reason why we're diving in the first place. Right
You don't
now,
like-
a
you
lot
don't
of
like
major
Cyberpunk,
orders
really?
just feel like a chore list. We do them because we have to, or because we want the medals. But where's the excitement? And look, I'm not saying the gameplay
Maybe you should
isn't
look at
fun.
edge runners.
It is, but the rewards? They're kind of getting lame. At this point, all we get are commemorative capes, and that's not even for every major order.
I'm in a server for that. Still waiting for the SC farmers to get that for me. I have a genuine question. Do people get banned for hacking in super credits or no?
when the game first came out, Major Orders gave us real rewards. They gave us stratagems that we wanted.
Yeah,
to
newbie, you really should
collective
watch
effort.
Edge Runners.
Why
It's
did
really
they stop
good.
doing that? Well, I can
They
tell
really
you
don't
that
get
right
banned.
now. It's because
Wow.
it doesn't make them money. Because they can just put the stratagems in the war bonds. And the thing is, they could add this stuff infinitely.
I bet they
can
don't
put
even have a
unique
good way to
weapon
track it.
variants or specialized armor sets as major order rewards, vehicles, stratagems. Because they've done it before. Well, except for the weapon part. It keeps the game fresh without forcing everything behind a paywall. And it keeps new players playing because they're still getting new things even if they're not paying money. Show what I mean. I spent like 30 minutes drafting a concept that proves how easy this would be. And I call it Operation Clean Sweep. Operation Clean Sweep was a joke I made just because I was like, we
Excuse me.
steal so much technology, and the whole point of us fighting Illuminati in the first place is because we wanted their technology. So I thought, why wouldn't we test their
game's kinda
technology
cool.
to see if it was efficient? And we found out that it was efficient. And then we would make a hover bike because oil is expensive, and the whole reason Terminators were even created was because of oil. I mean, yep, that was basically. I won't read the description of it, but of the cape, but the mantle sustainable
Helldiver 2
slaughter
Game Guard
a
is
pretty
non-functional, bro.
Good subscription, I think I did.
I don't see too many
And
hackers,
Lift
but when
900
they're there,
hover
they're
bike would be a
unimpeded.
hover bike, but I'm not great at kit bashing enough for that. So here's a Star Wars speeder. But let's talk about another real solution. Weapon mastery. Right now, once a gun hits level 25, that's it. It's done. It's a static tool. Why? Give me a reason to stay married for my favorite primary.
Yep.
Let us prestige our weapons. Imagine hitting that cap and getting the choice to reset for a permanent mastery camo.
Yep.
Prestige 1, you get a bronze.
Mastery camo would be
Prestige
tough.
2, you get a sleek silver. Prestige 3, you get a gold that screams, I'm the
Yo.
1%.
That Damascus camo goes kind of crazy. That's actually cool. Imagine that with the what is it? The good citizen armor, you know, the one that looks like the Mandalorian.
And it shouldn't just be a paint job. Every time I prestige a weapon, give me a new thing called a specialization slot.
Yep.
Nothing game breaky, just a small choice of meaningful stat bonuses. I can choose between like faster fire rate, 5%, or because I've handled this weapon 1,000 times, give me 10% recoil
It's because
because
cool
I know
skins
exactly how
don't fit
this
the
gun
grunt
kicks.
fantasy.
And of course, give secondary weapons levels and attachments, because I don't even know why those aren't there in the first place. The point is, give a reason a player to keep playing the game, even if they've maxed out their favorite stuff. Gives me, and this transitions me to level 150. There is no
Why
difference between a
prestige
level
exists,
25
man.
and
People
a
want
level
excuses
150
to interact
Helldiver,
with games that they like.
at least progression-wise. Right now, the difference between a level 1 and a level 50 is a title. That is not progression, that's a participation trophy.
Yep.
If
Titles
I
are
put
trash.
500 hours into the desert, let my gear reflect the blood, sweat, and samples I poured into it.
Yep.
Stop putting everything in war bonds and start adding it to the level progression. Whether it's weapons, armor, caves,
I
or
do
stratagems.
appreciate how many people
There's
were
no
able
reason to have 150 levels
unite under
if
this
there's
issue.
nothing there.
I think it's
Like,
really cool.
What kind of thought process is that? But no, the reason they do it is because money, and it's all in the war bonds.
Is Chris going to sleep? Did I miss that? Good night, Chris, if you're going to sleep. Oh, there you are. Also, Hog, do you stream every day? No, man, I'm employed. I don't have the hours for that. But I'm probably going to stream on, at the very least, Wednesdays and probably Sundays. Saturdays might be hard, but I think Sundays would be good.
And, well, the lore police are going to show up in the comment section and say, but you're just expendable cannon fodder. It's not supposed to be personal gear. Stop.
Peace
just
out,
stop.
brother. Sleep
Look
well.
at history. Look at World War II.
Get your beauty
Those
sleep.
soldiers were cannon fodder, too. They were thrown into a meat grinder of the front lines. But what did they do? They painted nose art on their bombers.
This is an even better idea than like classic COD camo skins. What's that one? Spill it all. Helldivers 2. Look at this helmet. Dude. This helmet is so fucking cool. Spill it all HD2 helmet. Here's somebody who textured it into the game. Excuse me. Where's the back of it? Where's the back of it? Where's the back of it? Where are you at? On the back of it, you can see like the 500 kilogram input code. I can't find it. Maybe they have it on here. Yeah, see, it says like have no fear. Dude. This is cool. I want helmets like this, you know? Something that an actual veteran might have. So how many Lex says, how many more posts has he made and how many have been actual answers? Many more posts, none of them were actual answers. It was really bad. If they don't want the immersion ruined, just make it optional. Have a setting that hides cosmetics of other players if that stuff bothers you. Yeah, man, or just include cosmetics that really couldn't be immersion breaking, you know?
They etch tally marks
Either
into
way,
their rifle stocks.
they
tuck
should have
playing
it.
cards into their helmet
Fix the
bands.
problems after.
Being
Add the cool shit
expendable
first.
doesn't mean you're not a person. In fact, the more dangerous the job, the more soldiers cling to their individuality. It's a coping mechanism. If I'm driving into a swarm of Terminids with a 20% survival rate, I'm not doing it in a factory standard suit. I'm doing it with a custom Lady Luck stencil on my jump pack.
Fuck yeah.
And my kill count stretched into my plating. The point is, people
like playing
have
dress up, man.
customization, no matter how much you see them as cannon fodder.
People like playing dress up.
I guess this leads me into my conclusion for this video.
Yeah, right.
I'm starving
if
for
I was a
longevity
betting
in
man,
this game. But as long as the
we all could've
vocal
seen it coming.
majority keeps acting like a new pistol every month is a substitute for a real endgame or any real progression or any systems outside of the war bonds and new enemies, this desert is all we're gonna have.
Elevated the
Stop
entrenched,
settling for
100%
less,
agree. I love
or
the
less
war
for
armor.
all is what we're gonna get. What sticker would you want them to add? Or what was the first gun you would get a prestige camo?
Anything, bro. I'm
Leave a
genuinely
comment below.
desperate
Like,
and
subscribe,
dying of
that's
thirst in the
peace.
desert.
Chase Cezanne.
That was a good video. That was a good video. W Chase Zazel. There's the video link. Go send him some love if you haven't already. And then, of course, come back to the stream. Your work isn't done yet. We have a little less than an hour left to stream, so we can probably watch a couple more things. I'm peeved by this new war bond and what it means in the future. Besides, new mechs aren't new mechs, they're new arms. Yup. 100%, bro. 100%. 100%. It's the same chassis. If they were giving us new bodies, I would actually be more okay with it. I would still want mech customization, but it's just the same thing. It's just the same thing. Laser minigun like in Star Wars would absolutely be tough. Would absolutely be tough. Yeah, dude, imagine that. Lower DPS than the maxi gun, requires a backpack, but all of a sudden you can move with it. That'd be sick. It's a third-person shooter. My character's in the middle of my screen at all times. I want to look cool if I'm going to be looking at myself. 100%, man. The thing that I'm most excited for in War Bonds is drip. And that is not a joke. That is not a joke. Helldivers parody trailer, please. Gundam. Anything medic-related at this point? Dude, medic War Bond would be tough. Is that a specific video, Warrior? Absolutely like a Gatling laser from the Fallout series. Absolutely. I think that would fit really, really, really well in Helldivers. And it would actually be a better justification. It would actually be a better justification for the maxi gun existing. I can't wait for the double laser cannon arms mech in the upcoming War Bond with an armor passive that reduces visual clutter. Yeah. React recommendations. Okay. What do you guys think? What do you guys think I should watch? We got a few options here. This was definitely one that was recommended. First Helldivers game, 10 years later retrospective. That's been recommended. We could watch the Dungeon Master video. Beautiful Loneliness of Helldivers 2. Ooh. Hold on. How long is this? Okay. We're going to take a look at a quick EPG6 video while y'all figure out, like, the long video that you want me to watch. For those who weren't here the other day, I love EPG6. He makes really good animations. Looks like I've seen this one already, but I think it's been a while. Okay, that's tough. Yo, that looks like the Metal Gear Solid 5 walker. Notice the stratagem launcher? Oh, shit. Yeah, here we go. EPG6 the GOAT. Dude, I am bromancing with EPG6. He's the best. Yo! That's cool! That's cool! Could you imagine? Yo, what's up, Clay? Welcome to the stream, brother. How you doing, man? Yeah, this is what Arrowhead doesn't want you to have. This is what they don't want you to have. Dude, God, the stomping. Yeah, dude, just hire EPG6. I mean, I know we like to say hire like to give them love. We're having a great stream, man. I appreciate the advice. I appreciate the help. It's been very smooth. It's been really successful so far. It's been a good time. But like, Or, like, seriously, don't you remember when that Warhammer guy made the Astartes animation, and he came up with that custom faction, the Retributors, the cool like white and gray guys that had the gold accents, and they were like cult hunters, and then they hired him and made his custom homebrew chapter, like what's it called? They made it canon. So now it's in I'm Only Finding Metals. Spooky, this is the experience Arrowhead wants you to have. Sorry, man. But they made it canon, and they actually hired him. That was nothing but good. Like, he's making cool stuff for them right now, and they're paying him to do it. Why can't they hire EPG6? Why not? Why not? It's not like they don't have the fucking money. You're made of money. You're made of money. It would change his life. It would give us new cool things. Hey, but remember, on the roadmap for Space Marine 2, there's a faction that's redacted. So, and it's supposed to come out around the same time that Astartes 2 comes out. We should do an Astartes 2 watch on stream when that comes out. Rearm and repair, if only. If only. But you know what the problem is? This ship would come down, and then it would get stuck, and then it wouldn't be able to reach the mech. And you'd sit there for 5 minutes, and then a scavenger would walk up, and they would destroy the mech, or an overseer would shoot one shot at your mech, and it would lose an arm. The loud old-timey clicking drives you insane. I haven't really noticed that. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Anybody who supports EPG6 is a friend of mine. IBO parody trailer held up. Okay. Sure. Let's see. Having the flag. Thank you, video recommendation. That's great. Could you imagine having the flag on top of a mech, like on top of the, that really threw me off. What's it called? The Lumberer. And then, like, having all of the enemies walk into your flame. Like, that would be cool. That would be an actual use case for the flag. That was sick. We'll see if they copyright strike that. All right. Did we decide what we want to watch? All right. So of the long videos, we got a roll request here. Welcome, welcome. What would you guys like to see me watch? I'll give you some choices. I'll give you some choices. This is like asking where do I want to eat, right? We got the Dungeon Master video. We got alternative to stims. That seems kind of cool. I made my own war bond. A documentary on dumb changes. Helldivers 1 retrospective. How does chat feel about the Helldivers 1 retrospective? Put a 1 if you want to see it. Put a 2 if you don't. Okay, we're getting a lot of 1s here. We'll go for it. Wazer, you're a hater. Jack. I don't even know what you mean by that. Monarch, peace out, brother. I appreciate you tuning in.
This video is sponsored.
Take care of yourself, man.
By
this video is sponsored by War Thunder.
So
I played War
Helldivers
Thunder the other day. It was trash.
Released 11 years ago, and I only knew about the game after Helldivers 2 went viral. I was shocked to see a 2 in the title. I never once heard of Helldivers before 2024.
Yep.
And I was even more surprised when I found out Helldivers 1 sold a whopping...
One thing I'm excited for in this next War Bond is that the new heavy armor they're giving us is kind of reminiscent of this concept art, like this old heavy Helldivers armor, which I've always loved the look of.
And achieved huge praise from critics. Since I've never played the game, and a good portion of you guys
Where's my
watching
sponsor,
my
bro?
Helldivers 2
I don't have a
videos as
sponsor.
well as this
I
video
wish.
probably haven't played it either.
Arrowhead
I
won't
figured
sponsor me.
what
They hate
better
my
time
ass.
to check out the first game.
They shouldn't, but
Hey
they do.
everybody, my name is Nikos,
Maybe they don't know
and
about me.
welcome back to the channel where we answer the question, 11 years later, how good is Helldivers 1? This video is
Probably pretty
essentially a
good.
deep dive into all things Helldivers 1,
You have a
though
dumb
I won't
idea?
talk about the lore a lot since I've already covered it extensively
Checking
in my
what on the
previous
wiki, boss?
Helldivers 2 lore videos, as well as the Helldivers Iceberg. Alright, let's get straight into the review.
Okay.
The gameplay loop for Helldivers 2 is so fresh that I had no idea almost all of it carried over from the first game. Just looking at Helldivers 1 immediately
Sweet
feels like you're
Hogility.
watching a different
Yep.
game.
They are
The
afraid to
perspective
sponsor my
shift
base
is
takes.
huge. Both games are
I wouldn't
four-player
sponsor
co-op
somebody that
shooters,
tears into me.
but Helldivers 1 is a top-down twin-stick arcade game. The switch
It
from
is a shame what
top-down
happened to
third
Arabin, bro.
person completely revolutionized Helldivers. These two games
I didn't
don't
play
even
Helldivers
feel
1.
the same. And so
Maybe
this
someone
had
in
me
here did,
thinking
though.
that both games wouldn't really be alike, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Much of Helldivers 1 is seen mirrored in
It looks like a
Helldivers
dope
2.
game.
Stratagems, hell bombs, objectives, even the different planets return from both games. The tutorial immediately slaps you in the face with reminders that this is a Helldivers game.
Yep.
There's a section where you have to crawl under turrets while they're shooting,
Oh, no kidding.
just like the Helldivers 2 tutorial. The Helldivers also
That's cool.
shout patriotic phrases in combat like a bunch of cornballs, including the famous Cup of Liberty
Yo, APC?
line
We're never getting
that
an APC.
ultimately went on to become a huge meme in the Helldivers 2 community. And then the players even follow the same traditions, dropping huge bombs as they extract. This kind of goes to show me that
It's a
the
human
fan base
instinct, bro.
between both games is the same.
100%.
Many of the guns are the same between both
Uh,
games.
the fan base being the same, I would think that Helldivers 1 fans carried over to Helldivers 2, but that Helldivers 1 had a massively tiny player base relative to Helldivers 2. I think they just found the same types of people. Like, I wasn't a Helldivers 1 fan. I'm the sort of guy who would have loved it, though. I just didn't discover it. Helldivers 2, though,
Well,
they got me.
the Liberator assault rifle, the Defender SMG, the Stalwart LMG, though in the sequel it's a support weapon, and in the first game it's a primary. But you're not going to be catching me using any of that mid. As far as I've experienced from the base game, the shotguns and energy weapons completely dominate the sandbox.
I believe that.
The Breaker automatic shotgun is as busted as it was.
Especially
because
because enemies can only be
it melts
on
even
screen,
heavier
so you're never
going
going
to
to be long
in
range.
seconds. The Trident is even better. This energy shotgun completely wrecks as good as the Breaker, but has far more range. And if you conserve your energy, you never have to reload.
I've heard it because I
You
played a
will
lot of
literally
Helldivers
snipe
1 with
enemies
my
that
brother
are
and
off the
father.
screen with the Trident.
I was very
It's
surprised when they made a
completely
sequel, though. I'm
busted.
glad they did.
And only recently arrived in
Helldivers 1
2,
armor to see the
but
full 3D
it
models.
is
We'll look at that
nowhere
after.
near
We
as
should.
good as it was in the first game. The very
One thing I really appreciate about Helldivers 1 is that they stuck to the Helldiver aesthetic. Lots of black and yellow, lots of B01 variants. That was one thing that I really do wish Helldivers didn't do. Excuse me, hold on. Because I think a lot of the armors that break away from the classic Helldivers look just aren't really cool enough to warrant how they dilute the aesthetic of everything, you know?
Second, I switched back to the Defender. I felt a huge difficulty spike. I felt like I was intentionally handicapping
Helldivers 1 community
myself.
was better. They're
Folks
patient towards new
complaining about
players.
weapon balance issues in
I feel like
Helldivers
that's
2 have
still
seen
Helldivers 2 community to an
nothing.
extent.
Helldivers 1 has a
Although I am
meta,
always in D10,
and it
so
isn't with
maybe
the
I'm wrong.
submachine guns. The players I ran into randomly online mostly run tridents and sickles themselves, or any number of DLC weapons that I'll be getting into later. But whatever you pick, whatever gun you decide to run with, do not get caught using the railgun. When I saw that I
Really?
unlocked the railgun as a primary weapon, I was giddy. Now do not get me wrong, I'm a huge fan
Is the railgun
of
bad
using
in Helldivers 1?
magnetically accelerated metal bricks to cave in the skulls of alien heretics. But this
I wonder.
this is not it. The railgun is a fantastic support weapon in Helldivers 2. And here, it's absolute garbage. You can't even
it's an okay
one-tap
support weapon.
Illuminate patrol bots. Anytime you engage a patrol at all, you stand zero chance at preventing them from calling for backup. The railgun essentially just makes problems worse. It amplifies every single
Okay, so we did have
amount of
Helldivers 2
enemies on
balancing
screen.
in Helldivers 1.
I think I only saw one guy using it a single time, aside from myself. It's that bad. Okay, so I got some more footage on max difficulty after writing this script, where I was fighting the Cyborg in their invasion of Super Earth, and a max level teammate of mine was using a railgun, and they were doing pretty dang good. So maybe I'm just bad at the game, but whatever. I'm just sticking
Yeah,
to
it's
my
actually a
Trident. That
skill
thing's
issue.
overpowered.
Helldivers
The
1 doesn't have
Constitution
balancing
bolt
problems.
action made its appearance here too.
No shit.
Except now it reloads a lot faster.
Yeah, I bet it
But it's
does.
still practically useless on even medium difficulties. The stratagem system from Helldivers 2 started here. Even back then, you spammed
Was that
arrows to
progression I saw?
accomplish steps and objectives and call in airstrikes, as well as summon support weapons and respawn fallen teammates. But half the time you do anything stratagem related, there's a 50% chance it'll end up killing your own teammates.
Uh-huh.
At least That's my rough estimation. Now, don't get me wrong, team killing does
Sounds like this guy
happen in
killed
Helldivers
50% of his
2,
teammates.
But in Helldivers 1, the screen is so small that stratagems have a really big chance
100%
to
agree,
turn your
newbie.
friends into
100,
tomato pits.
1000% agree.
So team killing
Yeah,
is
balancing in
amplified.
Helldivers 1 was funky, but it was more
Stratagems
simple
come
compared to
in
Helldivers
3
2.
delicious
Yeah.
flavors.
What's funny, it was
Offensive,
more simple,
support,
and we've
and
already seen an
defensive.
example of them sucking at it.
Offensive stratagems are
Did you know you can
different
farm super
flavors of
credits?
airstrike. Even the orbital
Yeah,
laser
spooky.
beam started here.
Yep.
In Helldivers 2, the orbital laser is a broken stratagem that is so good it's been limited to 3 uses
hope they
per
change it.
mission. In Helldivers 1, I was super pumped to unlock it. It even has unlimited uses. Then I threw it down and watched in awe as it struggles to kill more than 1 enemy. Yup. It's got the intensity of a laser pointer and only lasts for like 3 seconds.
Damn, that was kind of
so
fucking
it sucks
weak.
at destroying armored enemies.
That was
and
pretty weak.
Sucks at killing hordes of light enemies. The orbital laser is basically useless.
You're metal rich, bro.
Just do not use it.
The
Do not even bother.
Helldivers
Get yourself an airstrike.
1 had the
As far as
Tox
defensive
thrower.
stratagems go,
And it was
they're
much better
also
from what I
really good at
understand.
killing your enemies and your friends. These are the most woke stratagems in Helldivers because they're all about equality. They equally distribute war crimes between all races, alien and human. It truly is
stratagems
beautiful
woke,
and
chat?
heartwarming. Turrets are highly effective at thinning out the herd of aliens
Yeah, I believe
to help
that,
you liberate
Dandelion.
the planet. They are also great at liberating your top half from the bottom half of your body. Mines are great as well because they block entire paths of travel for you and your friends and usually just lead to you exploding because you can't shoot the mines and have to just cope with their existence until something
That would
runs
slow
over
and
them.
eat away.
Like an
Oh,
immovable
so they
immortal
damaged people
snake.
and ate away at the armor, right?
minefield will get you
But now they want to
eventually.
keep gas as
There's no
gas.
stopping it. Support
Awesome.
weapons are probably the most useful stratagems that team kill the least. But most
I also
of them
remember
have
something that
one
Arrowhead
use.
could have done in the
So if you
game, what I've
die
seen
and
a
lose
couple
your
people talk
support
about. Where's the
weapon
dude?
and your
Where are
teammates
stripper
leave the
clips for the
area,
Constitution?
you might
If
not
it
get
had
another
stripper
support
clips, I
weapon
might
for
use
the
it sometimes.
entire mission. Some support
I
weapons
never fucking
also
use it.
require backpacks that carry ammo. This prevents you
Remember,
from
the game wasn't
comboing
supposed to be
a
balanced,
powerful
though.
support weapon with specialized backpacks like shield
Yeah.
generators and jump.
Yeah, I mean, they
However,
have the tech.
your teammates can wear that support weapon.
Make it a
ammo pack
reward for getting
and
level
can assist
25
your
with the gun.
reloads if you have a compatible weapon for their ammunition. Pretty much all of these mechanics that you're hearing right now may sound familiar if you've played Helldivers 2, because these all carried over into the sequel. However, you do get more support weapon and vehicle call-ins where they're pretty much limited to 1 in Helldivers 1. As far as the support weapons go, they're pretty much very similar to Helldivers 2. You got a grenade launcher, expendable anti-tank, recoilless rifles, but all in all, there's less support weapons currently in Helldivers 1 than there are in Helldivers 2. The sequel has a huge library of support weapons.
Yeah,
They've got
it
like
does.
7 different rocket launchers. It's kind of hilarious. I'm beginning to wonder if Arrowhead has their own rocket launcher research department because I don't know how they've come up with this many different ways to make an RPG.
Hey,
But
man, there's
one
worse things to
very
have than a
notable
lot of
difference in
stratagems.
Helldivers 1.
Now, if only we could
Armor
progress towards them.
penetration. It works very differently compared to Helldivers 2. If you want to knock out
$10,
armored targets,
please.
you need to angle your anti-tank weapon shots perpendicular to your enemy's armor plating. Glancing shots from an armor-piercing weapon will not be effective at destroying enemy vehicles. They'll just bounce your
Interesting.
shots off them.
This is something
evolves
that's
the
in
gameplay
Helldivers,
past simply
Helldivers 2.
aiming and
It's
shooting.
just
You actually have to think
never really
through how
happens,
you're
you
gonna
know?
hit certain targets, which is really good at engaging your 2 brain cells and more than just worshipping democracy. Vehicles are also here, but all have single uses. The exosuit and its variants, the Bastion tank, and even armored personnel carriers that aren't seen in Helldivers 2. And about 2 years ago when Helldivers 2 launched,
God,
I
that looks so
remember
cool.
hearing rumors
The
about
APC
an
looks so
APC
cool.
being in development. We thought it was going to get added to the game, but we
The
still
APC
have
has been
yet
in the
to
files
see
for
it.
like 2+ years.
And also the
It's been
Illuminate
so
weren't
long.
there, which is very interesting that so much was
Functioning
already
vehicle, by
in
the way.
Helldivers 1 that still hadn't made it to the second game. And speaking of Helldivers 2 at launch, I remember there were no vehicles for so long, you just ran around every map. It was constant sprinting and watching as stamina bars depleted. I'm really happy
Maybe
they
next,
added all
dude.
these vehicles,
The
to be
APC
honest, 'cause
Warbound
that
might
got
be next.
really old really fast. The core gameplay of Helldivers is simple. Choose a planet
Yeah,
and a
the
system of one of
Constitution should
3
just
front
hit
lines.
really hard
Select a difficulty
have a
from
stripper
1 to
clip.
15, with difficulty 15
Low mag
being
size,
named
low
the
total
inner
ammo,
circle of
relatively
hell,
slow
which
reload.
is an accurate description, to say the least.
Like, it's a
Depending on
weapon
the
that could be
difficulty,
balanced and be
liberating
fun.
a planet may require the
But it's just
completion of
not.
multiple consecutive missions, which when all are completed successfully, contribute to the community score.
They abandoned
that
those
liberates
foundations for
systems
grunt
from the
fantasy.
enemy. And this is how Super Earth wins the war.
That sounded like something a
And
slop
speaking
tuber
of
would say.
war, allow me to share with you a different war going on Earth
God.
itself. War Thunder is the most comprehensive military
Yeah,
vehicle
man, I
combat
wish.
game ever created, and it's available now.
Yep.
Mass helicopter 20 on its crank.
Yep.
X-ray structure. Here's a story.
Okay.
They
what
can
are we
shape
doing?
the game to be
How long is this
truly
fucking
theirs. Join over 95.
Here we go.
Each of the planets in Helldivers offer hazardous conditions to spice up the variety just a little bit. Arctic planets are covered in thick
All the weapons
snow
can be
drift
that, but that's not
slows
going to
the
happen
player
unless
down
there's a war bond around it.
significantly,
Yep.
And water pools
Yep.
on jungle planets.
Although
also do pretty
Pilestedt
much
did
the same
specifically
thing.
acknowledge that we
Lava
want
planets offer
older
bubbling
gear to be
magma
better.
geysers that melt your skin, and bottomless pits to fall into and
Hog
die.
needs to get
There's
sponsor
also
block.
urban planets
What's
that are
sponsor
just built
block?
into a grid pattern to force you into claustrophobic fights. But what really
Does it-
stuck
does it
out to me
skip
is a
those
lot of
portions
the
in
planets
videos?
Helldivers 1 are named the same thing as several of the notable ones from Helldivers 2. You got Virilia 5, Fori Prime, Oshuane, or
Really?
Oshaune, I believe it's pronounced. I've
How
been
does it
told
even
in the
do that?
comments
How does it
so
know where
many
they
times
are?
I pronounced that wrong.
That's cool.
But the first game also has the legendary Malevolon
I'll look into that
Creek,
off stream. I appreciate
but
it.
it's a bug world as opposed to a bot world, and the planet itself is in a
Malevolon
completely
Creek was in
different
Helldivers
sector
1.
with
No
different
kidding.
planets neighboring it, which means that the entire galactic map has changed since the first game. Now, I don't know the lore implications of this, but even
Yeah, 'cause
further
you're a filthy
is that
casual.
the enemy homeworlds, save for Cyberstan, are also not present in Helldivers 2. Like, where did these planets go? Do they just not exist anymore? Let's just try not to think about lore and how the entire galaxy has completely
Don't get bogged
changed.
down in
Let's
Helldivers
just
lore,
hop into
bro.
the game. Now, first thing I noticed is that I was genuinely shocked to
Lore
see
is a
that
tool for
Helldivers 1
monetization to these
still had
devs
a
right
good
now.
handful of players online. I thought everyone would have
Dude.
moved on to the sequel by
The
now.
Lumberer mech looks
But
so
no,
cool in
there's
Helldivers
still
1.
hundreds logging in every day.
Damn. He deadass just
And
nuked
the
his mech.
population was big enough to continue the galactic war as the map was continuously shifting, and I even got to take part in a campaign to liberate the Illuminate homeworld.
That's cool.
Also, when I'd start a solo game, players would join off of me, and we'd continue the campaign together, which was a really nice treat, seeing fans still logging in and joining.
Hopefully one
public
day I can get
lobbies.
sponsored
I thought
sections
I
so people
wouldn't
could
see
skip it.
anyone.
Oh my god.
I thought I'd be
Hold
playing
on.
this game.
Oh, my nose is attacking me. I gotta blow my nose real quick. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is an MMA fight. Oh my god. Grab his dick and twist it. The old dick twist. Oh my god. All right. We're back. Sorry. My nose got like really itchy out of nowhere. Uh-oh. I just clicked a button on here. Oh. Is the power button unplugged in? I think it should still work.
Completely alone when I started making this video, but no, it's actually pretty delightful to see so many players still invested in this game. I guess there's still a lot of love for the first Helldivers. Whenever you launch a mission,
Helldivers lore
your
varies from a
Helldivers
5-year-old
squad
thinking
drops onto
it's
a
the best thing
procedurally
written since
generated
Lord of the
map that
Rings.
offers randomized objectives.
Yeah, I mean, the lore is
Many of which may
fine,
sound
you know?
familiar to Helldivers 2 fans.
It's cute.
Launch an
The aesthetic is
ICBM,
cool. That's the big
perform
thing.
Geological surveys, escort defenseless chuds to safety, deliver a black
Yo,
box,
look at these fat
activate
fucking
SAM
chuds.
sites, load an artillery gun, blow thing up with hell bomb. But there are also some new ones, such as disarm unexploded ordnance in a minefield,
Yo.
which has expected results.
Yo, that's cool.
There's also the escort a slow ass.
Yo, wait, that's
train
cool.
mission, which is as boring as it sounds.
That
Then
looks
after
terrible.
You do all the objectives you extract on a dropship, but you don't actually have to win the objectives. You can actually fail objectives, as it doesn't punish you at all. You can still extract and
That's
move on to
weird.
the next level in the campaign. Completing the list of missions on a planet grants you a bonus. which
Helldiver
typically
board game
comes
is
in
still
the form of a
happening.
brand
Helldiver
new
movie is still
stratagem
happening.
unlock,
But other
which
than
does a
Jason
really good
Momoa
job
being
of
in it,
keeping you
I don't think we have
invested in
anything
the
new.
game, as it gives you shiny new toys to play with each campaign. And while we're on the topic of progression, you also gather samples littered across the planets. But unlike Helldivers 2, they don't come in different varieties. There is no common, rare, or super sample, just samples.
Okay.
And pooling samples together grants research points that allow you to
Re-
upgrade your
oh,
weapons and
really?
stratagems.
Oh, really? Does it now? So you're telling me that Arrowhead created a game, put samples in it, and decided, hey, maybe these samples should go towards something long term. Huh.
Meanwhile, XP is
I don't
used
disagree,
to unlock
Wazer.
new weapons.
It's looking pretty grim.
Then
I'm still
there's
gonna see it in
customization
theaters.
items to unlock, so you can
But,
deck out your
man.
Helldiver in a variety of armors and capes. For an indie game, there sure is a lot of depth when it comes to progression and customization. But holy hell, after level 15,
If only they stuck with that.
it takes forever to level up and unlock anything. Progression slows to a pretty boring crawl. The gameplay in Helldivers 1 is pretty repetitive, which is saved by the variety of enemies you run into.
Kind of like
The
Helldivers 2.
three factions are very unique from each other. The bugs are simple. They are
Director said, "I'm not
melee-based,
playing this
swarming
game."
the player in
I think
limitless
you're thinking
holes.
of Far Cry
Their weaker
Warrior.
units are bolstered by heavily armored bugs. Chopping off their heads puts them into a rage state.
Yeah, but see, that's
where they
fine,
rush
Wasp. That's
Helldivers in
fine.
a frenzy,
The
but
thing is, weapons can be quote-unquote overpowered as long as they are both balanced among themselves and against the enemies that you fight. As long as there is a challenge in the game that can be engaging when you have the best gear, then there's nothing wrong with getting new gear that lets you vertically climb the difficulty ladder and makes the higher difficulties more accessible, as long as they never make the higher difficulties boring. And that's the balance that Arrowhead never knows how to strike. Spooky, did you find more
moving
super
out.
credits?
Some bugs use cloaking and leap at Helldivers from a distance, though the cloaking is incredibly
Hey,
easy to
that's
spot thanks to the top-down view perspective.
Almost a W.
Whereas in Helldivers 2, stalkers just jump out of nowhere and rob you of your samples. The Helldivers
Shout
1
out to the
bugs
20
are
super
not
creds
too
that you
different from
found.
Helldivers 2's Terminids. The cyborg are mostly ranged-based. They're half-machine, half-human hybrids, wielding ballistic weapons and operating armored vehicles to attack Helldivers from a range. They also have a number of melee units, including the
Those
Hound,
heavies look
which
way
rush
more
Helldivers
intimidating
and
than the
attempt to
current
cut
heavies
them
we
up to
have. I
pieces
can't lie.
with melee attacks. These hounds command immediate attention because they like to down players. Now, I haven't talked about
Where are the
downing yet,
hounds, bro?
but when a player takes too much damage, they're put into a downed state.
Oh, that's
and they
cool.
have to hold a button to get back up so their health can begin regenerating again. In a down state, all players can do is shoot their pistol.
I can see why they didn't do
However,
that in Helldivers
a
2,
teammate
but that is
can
still a cool
instantly
mechanic.
Bring a player back to their feet with the press of a button, which actually encourages teamwork.
Yeah, and
It
see stuff like
emphasizes
that,
getting
like
players
quality of
to
life
run
improvements,
out of
ammo and shit like
safety
that.
to go pick up
It's almost,
fallen comrades, because if
there's
every
no
player dies at
downside
the
to
same
giving players
time in a
benefits like that.
mission, the mission is completely lost.
Again, as long as
The
you balance
cyborg
it
are very
among
much
the other
like
gear
the
that you have.
automatons from Helldivers 2, but they use machine guns and rifles rather than advanced laser weapons. The Illuminate are perhaps the most different from their
They use
Helldivers
lasers,
2
use plasma, right?
counterparts. And Helldivers 2, they're a bit of a cross between the automatons and Terminids, fielding large waves of human zombies and melee units that distract attention from their armored ranged units. And Helldivers 1, they're mostly ranged based and are far more
I've heard that people
into
don't really
controlling
like
the map.
the
Their
Illuminate
biggest
from
advantage
Helldivers
at
1,
taking down the Helldivers is controlling and segmenting
but
the
I
map.
only heard that from a couple
They
people.
use energy walls as well as long-ranged laser snipers to dice up the screen and
Yo,
section Helldivers
that's
off
cool.
from each other. This throws monkey wrenches into teamwork and proves to be a serious threat.
That's cool.
Working your way out of a threat from an Illuminate mission feels more like a puzzle as opposed to the other factions, which are
I bet he will.
basically just
I bet he
about
will.
shooting your
The
way
fact that
out.
we really only have one
This
boss
gets
right
even
now.
more brain twisting, and the fact that some of their units
He'll
have
talk about
stun weapons and hit players with attacks that temporarily invert their controls. Despite these differences, all three factions function the same at their core. Patrol units search for Helldivers, and when they find them, they call in waves of reinforcements.
We get a little bit of that with the Appropriators, though. The Appropriators are a really, really fun sub-faction to fight. Like, genuinely, that's one of the better updates we've seen. It was more
Each
hyped than
faction
Cyberstand,
does
in my
have
opinion.
their own mission objectives that are tailored around their unique personalities that you won't see across all three factions. Each faction also offers a boss fight.
There we
which is
go.
Definitely not meant to be tried solo, but that didn't stop me. It's not down to the fact
I wouldn't
that
be
I'm
surprised if we were
antisocial.
supposed to pseudo
It's
and I just couldn't
actually
get it done.
because there were not enough players on at the time when I tried out the Hive Lord. The game is still active, but that doesn't stop Helldivers 1 from having population issues at non-peak hours. I thought this boss fight was pretty unfun and cheap, but with friends, I'm sure this fight would be a lot more interesting and
Bro,
fair.
rage quit.
Anyway, what's really cool is that the Hive Lord was here at launch.
Hive
as
Lord and
well as a
Helldivers 1 is
bunch of
fucking-
different
excuse me,
boss
Helldivers
fights
2 is
that
fucking cool.
are just now getting into Helldivers 2 almost a year after the game released. So this is where Helldivers
Came with a
begins.
shit update.
Clearly, this is
but
part of the same universe.
it's cool.
All of the Helldivery things are here. But is Helldivers 1 any
Yeah,
good?
I haven't
Is
seen
it
the
worth
Stingray in
playing
forever,
today in
dude.
2026? For an indie game, the co-op design and gameplay loop is some high-quality stuff. But Helldivers really does show its limitations. Whenever I played this game for the video,
As does the
I
sequel.
found myself getting bored. Yes, there are some players still on public
God
matches
damn.
at peak hours, but sometimes
God
it was
damn.
just me. playing
There were a
single
lot of enemies right there.
and that is not desirable for a co-op game. Both Helldivers games suffer from a lack of single player, but Helldivers 1 feels far more boring than the sequel when you're playing alone. While the game's art style is stellar, and its graphics are serviceable for an indie game, I especially honestly like the art style because it's got this kind of cutesy, brutalistic war theme where everything
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
a cool
toy
art style.
soldier. Like, I swear the vehicles all look like G.I. Joe tanks. But back to the point, it does have good visuals, but the sound effects in Helldivers 1 just
For
lack
40
that punch.
It's been an
you
hour.
get
You found
from
40
Helldivers
super credits
2.
and 50 medals.
The
Are you farming
soundscape
solo
isn't
or with
bad
people?
by any means. I mean, the music isn't really anything to write home about, and the gunshots and artillery strikes all just sound kind of... They're a little
you
too
got a
high
Q
end. They
random,
all
bro.
got way
You get
too
a Q
much
random.
treble and don't have that satisfying, bassy punch that you would hope
You're just
for.
getting bad luck.
The Helldivers 1 audio and sound effects are fairly serviceable, and they're pretty fitting for an indie game. Now, there's something really weird about this game. It's not a criticism, just more of a quirk to Helldivers. The voice acting is weird. It's got that
It's
indie
weird?
charm to it. First, the tutorial robot is incredibly
Yo,
loud
the
and
Hellbot.
annoying, beeping non-stop. And then the characters aboard the ship only speak aloud the first few sentences of each of their paragraphs.
One of our cities is under attack.
I feel most at home when we're in deep space.
Why did they do
Which
that?
is
What?
just goofy
They're-
and kind of
They're already saying the line. Just say
big
like
ups to the
9
fact
more
that
words,
Indy
bro.
9L is the voice actor announcing whenever you call in and whenever you deploy
Shout out to the Hellbot.
stratagems and support
Cut
weapons and
content.
vehicles.
Stand by. Equipment on its way. Extraction confirmed. Shuttle inbound. ETA T minus 1 minute 30 seconds.
Anytime I hear his voice, I remember the Great War podcast and YouTube show, which really takes me back to about a year ago. when
Solid voice
Battlefield
acting,
1
to be
released,
100% honest.
And I was
Sounds pretty
binging
good to
the
me.
Great War series. Wait, Battlefield 1's 10 years old? Anyway, all
Is
things
Battlefield 1
considered,
10
the
years old?
gameplay of Helldivers 1 is very...
Fuck. 10 years? That's crazy.
repetitive, with not a lot going on in the
Dude, we're all
randomized
tired.
maps aside from sample
tired.
collecting and objectives. The vast variety of enemies is this game's
Titanfall 2, I
saving
believe.
grace. It adds pretty much all of the variety to the gameplay.
Titanfall 2's
And
been
even in
dead for a
public
number of
lobbies with
years,
full
bro.
squads,
They killed
I
it.
still found myself wanting to play Helldivers 2 instead. Helldivers 2 just beats this
Maybe it's
game
not dead,
pound
but I
for
know it's in a
pound
bad
with
spot. Like,
gameplay
there's, like,
variety
hackers or something.
and cinematic excitement. I'm sure if you are into my Helldivers videos, you may have already heard about Joel.
What is the
You
deal with
know,
Titanfall
the
2?
game master in charge
To anybody
of
who knows.
Helldivers 2's evolving war, which having a game master actively change the progression of the story goes a long way to make the storytelling as well as following the war much more interesting than the automated, eternally resetting wars seen in the first game.
What if instead of doing that, we had a major order every 2 weeks, and when it finishes, you get something that says Arc 6 outcome win, and then they do it again? What about that? Is that good for you? It's good for me.
Plain and simple, Helldivers 2 just has a lot more sauce.
And that's what you're
But
getting.
that sauce was likely expensive, and Helldivers 2 couldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for the increased budget.
Oh, you have to
Another
mod it?
thing I noticed
Okay.
while looking through the unlocks is a bunch of blue padlocks over half of the weapons and stratagems.
DLC.
These aren't unlocked by normal means, but instead through DLC.
That sounds familiar.
So, get this. There are 14 DLC packs in Helldivers 1. In what world does a paid arcade shooter that already costs you about $20 11 years later need this much DLC?
Get a load of the DLC in Helldivers 2, bro. If only you could spend $40 and get everything.
Shoot, I had no idea Helldivers 1 would even be as big as it is to demand this much DLC. That is a lot of stuff. in post-launch content. And since each pack costs around $3, that's around 50-something bucks to have everything in the
And you know where they got away with it?
available to you.
Not that
Let's see what
many.
you get from each of
Not that
these
many played it.
packs.
After this
The
newbie, we're
pistol
gonna wrap
pack.
it up.
This pack offers more secondary weapons, which is nice because there's only one pistol. One pistol
Arc
available
612
for players
outcome
that
win
have
was a
the basic.
nail biter.
This
Dude, I was
butchers
on the edge of my
variety
seat.
For anyone who doesn't want the DLC, because to be honest, having
Me when I get
only a
Arc
selectable
612 outcome
primary
lost.
and
No.
you just get a pistol, the same
Dude,
pistol everyone else gets,
what the fuck?
goes a long way to shrink variety
do
and make
that.
the game a lot less interesting. But it's even weirder that this variety of selecting something as simple as a pistol is
Helldivers 1
completely
Galactic War is
locked
automated.
behind
I can manage
DLC.
possible to
That's just
absolutely.
kinda
100%.
odd to me. Let's look at another
100%.
one. This pack comes with all-terrain boots that completely negate the slowing properties of water and snow. That's kind of pay to win.
Yes.
And I could have really used these in that solo boss fight against the Hive. And the reviews on this pack in particular are pretty critical.
Yep.
Players don't seem to like that $3 completely removes the challenge of terrain. While other DLC packs have largely positive reviews,
Arrowhead has
this
always
one
been like
is
this.
the most infamous in the community, garnering a mixed
We just didn't
status
know about it. We
on
didn't know what we were
Steam.
getting into.
Well, that's until
People-
I actually
people
took a
looked
second
back
look
on
at the
Helldivers
pistol
1
pack
with
and found out
rose-tinted
that
goggles.
people are
They remembered
not
the
very
good parts.
happy with a secondary weapon taking up your perk slot. Yep.
And this
If
was
you wanna pick a
pre-Shams.
secondary weapon
Pre-Shams
other than the stock
Giorgiani.
pistol, you don't get to take a perk because it takes up your perk slot, which is a strange decision, to be sure, and is the reason why it's so negatively reviewed. But also, most of the vehicles are locked behind DLC. The Bastion tank, all the exosuit variants, and more, which have been since made free for all players in Helldivers 2 when they were added months after release. They cost you money in the first game.
Yeah, that
The whole
tracks.
Half of the vehicles are completely barred from you if you just own the game.
That tracks.
And speaking of Helldivers 2,
And now we're here.
game's post-release content is similar to the first game.
But
To unlock post-release weapons and stratagems, you have to purchase war bonds, which
Yep.
are locked behind a premium currency.
Yep.
However, in Helldivers 2, you can technically earn that currency for free.
But
These super credits can be farmed. Now, though it is tedious, you can actually unlock everything in Helldivers 2 after purchasing the game for free. You can do this in theory.
That's what I want my
It
games
would
to
take
be.
a lot of time,
tedious.
but at least the option is there.
Not
if you
just
don't wanna
time
spend
consuming,
money on the
tedious.
game. In Helldivers 1, you have to shell out money to have access to
Again,
half of
time
the
consuming
game's
is fine.
sandbox, in
Tedious
a game
is
that
not.
11 years old. That costs $20 today. And if you want all the DLC and the full experience, that'll cost you $40
dude.
up front, which is
Arrowhead
a bit
is
insane
so
for a game
obsessed
that
with
sees
money.
around 200 players on Steam around peak
It's becoming
hours.
very clear.
Granted, the servers are
I love
still
that
up,
armor.
so if you do buy the
I
DLC,
love those armor
you
sets,
can
bro.
still use these premium items in gameplay. So it would be a stretch for me to call this a scam, but it seems like a really high price tag for a game that's over a decade old. It really is a shame
Sure
that
does.
so many of the powerful weapons and artillery are locked behind microtransactions. I've seen players running around with sniper rifles, the stalwart LMG, the autocannon, and many more iconic Helldivers 2 weapons and stratagems that are sadly just relegated to different packs
Yep.
in Helldivers 1.
Yep.
It's kind of unfortunate. These have got to be my biggest gripes with the first Helldivers game, and some of the reasons
You telling me
why
Arrowhead
I
didn't
think
start
I'd
as the
rather
wholesome
play
Chungus,
Helldivers
everything is
2.
free developer?
However,
What?
while recording footage for Helldivers, I found
Wait till
myself
Tank
trying to
2.0 more Bonder
experience
Superstore
everything I could
probably
in the
will
game
be,
to
like,
give as
unironically.
fair of a review as possible. And the genre of Helldivers 1 is twin stick shooter. It's on the box. So I decided to
Yeah,
try the
100%
game
agree,
on my
newbie. I
controller.
joined a random, we found 40.
I
There
plugged
you
in
go,
my
Spooky.
gamepad
That's what I like to hear.
And noticed a press A to join prompt. So I did, and now I was controlling two Helldivers on my computer screen.
Huh.
One with keyboard and mouse, the other on controller.
For
And
real
that's
gamers.
where the ethos of Helldivers 1 fully clicked for me. This indie game prioritized playing with friends
Yeah.
in any way possible.
It was a party game, bro.
especially in the same room. And here I was, playing the game
LAN party.
completely alone. Back in 2015, split screen and couch co-op gaming with friends and family in the same room was on a steady decline. Halo 5 had ditched split screen co-op that same year, a feature that had been a staple in the Halo franchise. And as online multiplayer
I don't think
took
Helldivers
hold,
2 could pull it
couch
off. I think
co-op
it's too
and split
demanding,
screen began to
honestly.
be phased
I would
out
love it, but
industry-wide.
I don't think
Major
they could.
franchises
I don't think
only
they could do
allowed
it.
one controller per
And I don't even
console
necessarily
at a
blame 'em.
time. And starting with the COVID lockdowns, a wedge was fully driven between gamers as they
So yeah, this
interned
is not like a
themselves
special
in their own
Helldivers 1
rooms.
case, just indie
This followed a
studio.
decline in social
Yeah.
activity worldwide. And Generation Z is now known as the loneliest generation. And the destruction of local co-op and the rise of high-speed internet
Yeah, man.
has exacerbated this
Socializing
problem.
is very challenging
Everything
when you
has
get a
gone
little bit
online.
older.
Even Helldivers 2, with all its bells and whistles and huge budget,
Hang on to your
only
friends,
allows
y'all.
one player per
The good
PC
ones.
or console. But 11 years ago, Helldivers decided to defy this trend. Up to 4 players can play together on a single console or computer. That was the original point of Helldivers, a shared screen between friends and family, either in person or online. And with the success of the game, I suppose Arrowhead saw an opportunity to monetize off DLC. So to answer the question, is Helldivers 1 any good? Absolutely, it's a decent game. One
It
that
looks
has
decent.
been critically
It looks like a
acclaimed and
decent
sold
time,
millions
but
of copies.
after watching
But
this,
it's not
it does not
nearly
make me
as
want to play it.
enjoyable to me as the sequel. It does carry some flaws and has a pretty big DLC.
So true. Hello, darkness, my little
But
friends
maybe
in
those
2030.
issues wouldn't have mattered as much if I played it with 3 other friends. Maybe I could have had much more fun with the game with a lobby of homies, either in person.
Yeah, but
or
that goes for
online.
anything. You know,
While
that
Helldivers
you
2
you
followed the
lacking
downfall of social
immediate friends to
circles
play
and
with
abandoned couch co-op,
doesn't make a game
Helldivers 1
worse.
dared to allow
Having friends makes
and
it better,
family to spend time
but
together
you can do
on the
anything with
same
your
couch.
friends.
And that is something I have great respect
I do love the
for. If you wanna
crustacean
try out
design of
Helldivers
them.
1,
Yeah.
I recommend picking it up with a couple friends, or at least get the
Yo,
copy and
why
play
did
with,
Snow
maybe
Fox
some
just
family
smoke him
or
like
some
that,
friends,
bro?
And link back up.
Even I
and
saw that
play
coming.
on the couch once again. Aside from that, I can't really recommend playing it solo unless you're a huge Helldivers 2 fan who wants to know where Helldivers began. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Sign up free on PC.
That was a good video. I liked that a lot. I liked that a lot, Nikos. Good stuff. There's the video link. Go send Nico some love. Tell him the hog appreciated what he had to say. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was a really, really good time. We still got 53 people watching. Damn, that's awesome. And while the history of company is amazing and wholesome, you need to say that after a while, making Helldivers 2 is no longer indie. Dude, Arrowhead is not an indie studio. I don't care what anybody says. You can say that they're a small studio, quote unquote, because everything is small relative to something else. But they have manpower and backing and resources. This is not a resource issue. Their issues come from how they structure their company. That's always how it's been. That's how it will remain, unless they fix it. The problem is them. 100%. Oh boy. Well, chat, that was a lot of fun. I kind of decided to do that on a whim after seeing the Pilestedt Q&A. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. Super, super thank you to everybody who donated. Yep. Anyway, process of becoming such a bit of a studio was messy and not ideal. Yeah. No kidding, man. Such a big studio, I think you mean. Have a good one. Thank you. You guys take care. Say your goodbyes now if you want to say goodbye to chat. If anybody wants the link to the Discord, if you have not yet joined, that is the only place right now that I am advertising new streams. So Second Monitor Fund is growing. So if you want to join the hog hole, go ahead and hop in there. I'll be keeping an eye out in the role request so that we can get you right on in. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Take care. W stream. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week next week. We will be playing Helldivers together on Wednesday. I'm going to need help figuring out what the best way to cycle people in and out is. So, just let me know. Send me some ideas, and you're probably going to get the chance to play with me. Till Wednesday. Hog.